In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing for
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame.
Red?
Gone are the days of pods and cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
Hello and welcome to the show, everyone. This is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things. It's called Best Gen because we all happen to roughly be from the same gen, and we happen to think that it was the best, not because we as people were better, but because our entertainment was. So get ready to wax nostalgic and reminisce on the old days as we get grumpy and talking about stuff that's coming out right now. How's everybody doing tonight?
I can't complain.
Yeah.
Good. It's been a week for me, mostly just family stuff with my kids. But it's been not the worst ever. Like the stuff we're watching is pretty good.
Yeah.
A
lot better than what we've been watching.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's a low bar, but
exactly. But it feels like refreshing to just it feels like I can breathe, you know? Like, oh yeah. Just a little respite after, a summer of love,
Yep. Pretty good palate cleanser.
Because there's more riots, so yay.
Jesus.
But we're here to talk about nerdy stuff. Super excited. We got some exciting news to drop tonight that will be exciting, so stay tuned for that. As you can see, I tried to run a poll. I don't know if it worked. I'm experimenting, guys. I'm still not very good at this. I'm also doing it all by myself. So let me know.
It's showing up.
Did it show up? Oh, you can only have 4 options, though. So it's kind of a lame poll. I couldn't fit on all the bad shows. She-Hulk's not even there. Let's introduce everybody. I'm me. You know who I am because I'm the best. We're also joined by the Angry Mexa, who's just our wonderful intern, Mexican intern, our little token diversity, who in turn gives me a little bit of more credibility to my asterisks on the technically Mexican part of that. His channel's great. He is willing to, for some reason, keep watching Velma. So if you don't want to watch that show but want to laugh, you got to check out Ingromex's reviews because there's no way in hell I'm watching that show. So
I watched the new video you just posted 2 hours ago, and oh my gosh, I can't believe how stupid it is.
It's so disgusting. Yeah, it's unimaginable. But yeah, I'm apparently the finale is already up on HBO Max, so I'm going to.
The show's already.
Yeah, apparently, bro.
4 weeks, the show's already over, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm not, I'm not looking forward to doing that video, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
But speaking of videos, bro, you haven't put up another.
I know. I'm very
edit
behind.
in
3 weeks?
Okay,
I'm a dad.
Oh, no.
I'm trying to figure out how to manage my time better. But I'm now like a full-time stay-at-home parent with 2 little girls who are just the worst. I love my kids, but I literally have like no free time anymore. I'll tell like so the youngest is just a couple months. She's on the precipice of crawling, and the other girl is almost 2, and I have a son who's in school, right? So he doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
They just take turns being grumpy, and the older girl is so clever. She will wait for me to be distracted, feeding the youngest or going to the bathroom to wreak havoc. Like she is devious and evil. And Friday, I made the mistake of falling asleep on the couch
Oh no.
while holding my I was lulling the baby to sleep. She fell asleep, and I nodded off for literally 20 minutes, and I woke up to it. It felt like the opening scene of The Walking Dead, where he wakes up from a coma, and he's been in a coma during this whole zombie apocalypse, and you're just like, what happened? She somehow opened the board game closet, which is locked. Got into like 6 different board games, mixed them all up. They were scattered across the floor. All of the pieces were covered in yogurt. The floor,
Oh no!
there were cave drawings on the floor in yogurt.
You're gonna get dance, bro.
So and anytime I have free time, I just want to sleep. So I'm trying to be better. I'm gonna commit to at least doing weekly videos in February, but I want to obviously do more than that.
Yeah.
I needed a break.
I'm one to talk to because I've missed 2 weeks of videos as well. Nex is the only one of us that's on top of things right now.
Yeah, it's been hard, bro. Telling you,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, mostly because the actual shows and movies are not that great. But yeah, I'm going to get at it again.
Yeah.
It's also extra tough because my wife was on maternity leave for a while, and so the kids got used to her being home, and then Christmas break on top of that added more time where she was here, and then she just switched jobs, so she started a new job where she's gone a little bit longer, and so this month has been extra testing, and they're adjusting to my authority. If that makes sense. I know this is all riveting conversation, but it's an excuse. I could have gotten videos done. I didn't. So also, no one watches videos, and everyone knows January is horrible for YouTube. So we're starting in February, guys. Okay,
Is that so?
February is the start of the year,
and it has some great movies that probably are going to be bad. Quantumania, the Cocaine Bear. I don't know if I can even say the
you can say
the name.
Cocaine Bear.
Okay,
that's fine. Yeah, I saw the trailer and I was like, "Oh, this looks interesting." And then, it's directed by that horrible person, and now I'm like, probably I don't know.
You're talking about Quantumania or
Cocaine
Bear? Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually going to make you a really weird movie suggestion, but I'm going to do it before I leave. So just drop the bomb and then.
Is this another Little Toes recommendation?
No,
I still haven't watched that one yet. I will. I promise.
No. No. Oh, the menu. Yeah, the menu is really good.
Yeah,
it was okay.
It's definitely not like the greatest movie ever made, but I really had a fun time just watching Ralph Fiennes. Just chew up every scene he was in. But if you want to talk about Quantumania, you guys have seen this screenshot from the trailer, right?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. I was watching the trailer. I'm like, oh, this actually doesn't look too bad. And then that happened. I'm like, oh no, no. That
You
does not look like MODOK. It's
So-
so bad.
you have seen Shark Boy and Lava Girl, right?
Yes, no, 100%. Shark Boy
Okay.
and Lava Girl looks better than what they did with MODOK there.
It really
villain.
does. What's the guy's name? Look at it.
It's George Lopez, I think, right?
Yeah, it's George
That,
Lopez.
that plays
I know, but
the
what's his character? Mr.
Watt-
Electric.
Mr. Watts or
Ah.
something, or
Mr.
or,
Electric.
megahertz or something like that. I'm not sure. Some stupid pun on electricity.
It's Mr. It's just Mr. Electric.
That
Mr.
they
Electric. Okay.
couldn't.
Well, he says a whole bunch of stupid electric puns. Yeah,
It's
yeah. That looks better than what they
does.
did.
Oh man, go back.
And this was what, like 10, 15 years ago? Maybe not 15
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, like 15. Yeah, 15 years. Something.
It's at least 10
28.
years ago.
17.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to this one. Even in the armor, he looks stupid, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, I think the armor looks okay. It's just all
I mean,
they
it
did
looks-
is just blew up his face. Like it looks like terrible and pixelated. You know, they didn't do anything to his face.
Well, it's
Yeah.
you can see it's
Made it
stretched
fit-
too.
Yeah,
It's like it's horrible.
they just made it fit the helmet and called it a day. It's like it looks so bad.
I mean, I know it's just CGI, but how did it look better in the 90s show? You know, the Marvel 90s show or 2000 early 2000s show? It looked scary, you know. He looked scary then, but now he looks like you said, like George Lopez in a horrible
Yeah.
CGI costume. Yeah.
This movie is so fun.
Oh my god,
It's so
that movie was cool.
yeah.
It's ridiculous. The whole president is like, oh, there's so many layers to it. It's
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone. No, it's Sylvester Stallone and George Clooney, and I can't remember who's pretending to be who. Like it's one of them in a mask. It's insane. It's insane. What a fever trip
I don't remember either of them in it.
of a movie. It's the president of the United States, but he's secretly like a villain.
Oh yeah.
And it's both Sylvester Stallone and George Clooney. I think George Clooney is the president, and then he pulls off his mask, and it's Sylvester Stallone underneath. It's like it's nuts.
I don't remember that at all. I just remember it was Taylor Lautner as a young child actress before Twilight. He was Shark Boy.
It's so funny.
Oh my gosh, that movie was in 2005. That's 18
Jeez.
years ago.
Yep.
That's insane.
Damn, I'm getting old, bro.
I know. I
Better
thought
effects than
15
Marvel.
was too long ago. I'm like, no, it's not 15. It's maybe 10. No, 18 years ago. And it looks better than what Marvel and multi-million-dollar studios putting out these days.
Shout out to Mark Clark in the
Laughable.
comments, our channel member. If you want to become a channel member, it just costs 99 cents, and you get access to emojis. I haven't made that new emoji for you yet, Mark. Sorry, it's been a week. You also get a store-wide discount on all my merch if that intrigues you. I don't have my hat on hand. No, I do.
Yeah, but it's cool merch, bro.
It's cool merch. Yeah, got a little hat. It's fun.
Yeah, if you ever come to Mexico, I'm going to ask you a lot of those merch.
Yeah, I can bring you.
So people are just confused, like, why are you technically Mexican? You look a lot Mexican. Full on Mexican.
Oh, it would be real confusing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
There's lots of other news though. So all of the shows that we're watching just got renewed for new stuff. The Last of Us is renewed for season 2, which is, I mean, okay. We all know what game 2 is though, so I don't know.
I don't know if season 1 is going to be game 1 and season 2 is going to be game 2, but we'll
No,
see.
yeah, it is the
That's what they're
creator.
planning?
Yeah, the creator said that in an interview for I don't know if, well, whatever which source was, but he said that season 2 was going to be part of game 2. I mean, he's obviously going to try to put part of game 1 in the starting of the season 2, because it's a long game and the seasons only have like 8 episodes each. So he's going to do that, but at the we know where it gets. And yeah, most of season 2 is going to be for the beginning of game 2, which is horrendous.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it is performing well. I think that it just broke records on HBO.
Yeah, I
Nice.
mean,
for week 2 increase.
there's like nothing
Right. Yeah.
else to watch.
It increased from episode 1 to episode 2, which is more than we can say for most of these things.
Yeah.
Rings of Power had a
Yeah.
huge drop, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got it.
So
right
did
here.
Willow, I think.
I
if
forgot to
remember
pull it
correctly.
up, but yeah,
Yeah, Willow was like forgotten after episode 2.
it had a 22% increase from week 1 to week 2. So it's not getting as much views as House of the Dragon, which steadily increased, but it's the largest like percentage increase from week 1 to week 2, which it's impressive, and
Yeah.
it's good. I think it's worthy of that praise until
It
it's
is.
not. For now,
It's not
good
perfect.
now.
It's still got flaws, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
I definitely
it's
have complaints about more so
Yeah.
about episode 2 than episode 1. But
Same here.
yeah, exactly. Like I said, it's going to get a little bit worse every time. I hope it doesn't. I hope that it's a good show, because I like watching good stuff. I freaking love House of the Dragon. Is my favorite show ever after, well, probably Game of Thrones. But I mean, well, Breaking Bad, yeah, it's not better than Breaking Bad probably, but it's still
no.
pretty good.
Breaking Bad.
I don't know. I don't know where to put it, but it's one of the best shows that to come out of the television for the past 10 years almost.
Yeah. And in addition to The Last of Us, Critical Role just signed a huge deal with Amazon. It's still kind of vague. It looks like they're getting a movie, but also a new TV show based on their second campaign. So in addition to the Vox Machina, which like congrats.
It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it is a little bit scary that they're now, because while this has been hosted on Amazon, it was their own entity and they created it, and now they are taking Amazon money, which means that Amazon might have more
to say about that
influence, right?
Mhm.
But I don't think they have like a date for it yet. They just dropped a little trailer where they showed like the script for the pilot, but that's that. So it's exciting. It's also a little scary, but I think they're smart about it, and they're kind of in the same position that Brandon Sanderson is, in that like they don't really need Amazon. Like it was all crowdfunded, so
Yeah.
they're holding most of the cards, not as many as Sando probably, right? But I mean, congrats! Like I'm super happy for these guys.
Yeah, and I probably I would believe, unless money can corrupt anyone.
Yeah.
But I would believe that if they don't see the show going the direction that they would want it to go, they can just drop it and say, okay, help us with crowdfunding, and we can put the show actually out.
That of course depends on their contract.
Like we don't have any details on what the contract looks like, but hey, it's news,
I hope it doesn't look like the contract that Stephen Crowder was given by the Daily Wire.
Hope it doesn't look like a Daily Wire contract, right?
Not gonna do that.
Sell us our soul, and we are. Yeah.
Well, so yeah, congrats to Critical Role. I really liked the episodes this week, but I think we'll talk about that second or first. Yeah, what are we talking about first? Are we talking about the last?
I would say first, because I couldn't catch The Last of Us. Like I said, I was a little bit busy.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Then we'll talk about Critical Role first. There's a few other news things. You guys heard about the Rick and Morty stuff, right?
Oof, that was insane. Yeah.
It's tough because, like, obviously, if the allegations are true, that's not cool.
Yeah, he's a horrible person.
But
if that's true.
I've been doing a lot of digging, and I haven't seen like any actual proof. There's a bunch of people commenting saying, "Oh, it was a well-known industry secret that Justin Roiland had all this." And I'm like, by who? Also, it was known. I mean, Me Too has been out for a long time, guys.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I've seen some screenshots of supposed messages that he
right.
sent some fans, but you cannot even tell if those are real. Like everyone can just forge a tweet or forge a DM.
Obviously, like, if he's really a bad guy, sure. This
Hmm.
feels like super preemptive, and I don't like it.
Yeah,
Like, if you're gonna come out with a statement like this, I feel like you also have to say, like, we've been doing our own digging, and we know that this is the
yeah.
accusations are true. Like,
It makes me believe that they probably know way more than the public, and because they are liable, probably with some things that he does, and it's probably, they really, really need to do their research, but like an extensive
Yeah.
research, private investigator or something like that, private detective. Um, and they probably know some of the stuff. And I mean, it doesn't
Maybe.
sound like the
You never
craziest
know, but
idea. Yeah.
there
or
could be another
they
Johnny
could
Depp
wait.
situation where everybody
Yeah,
just, oh
exactly.
my goodness,
That's the
there's
thing.
allegations. Let's drop Johnny Depp. We're not associated with Johnny Depp anymore. Let's fire him from all the
Yes.
franchises. And then it turns
Maybe
out
don't
that
say his name
Amber
that many
Heard
times,
is a.
though.
Oh yeah, sorry.
JD.
Yeah. Then it turns out that the other person was the making up bologna sandwiches.
I don't know who that other person would be.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
Definitely can't say
Remains
anything
a
negative
mystery.
about it.
The witch, we can call
Because
her
this
the
is
witch.
how
Yeah.
discourse works online. Yeah, I don't like this move. I think it makes Adult Swim look bad, especially since they're gonna try and recast him as the voice of both leads and keep the show going.
Jesus.
I in any case, I think we've all forgotten that you're innocent until proven guilty, guys. If he's guilty, he's gonna go to hell. Sure, okay,
Mhm.
condemn him, but just wait until if there's a court case filed. Wait for the results of that before you do this
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I'm not on your side. I can't condone any of this.
Yeah, I would much rather a statement saying, "Hey, we're still working towards season 7, but our relationship with Justin Roiland is put on hold pending further
Honestly,
investigation." Or
I
something.
would respect so much if they just say, "Hey, we're aware of the allegations, and if they're true, that's terrible. But we believe that a person is innocent until proven guilty, and so we're not cutting ties
Exactly.
unless this is actually something to worry about." I would have
Yeah.
so much respect for a company that came out and said that.
Yeah, back up.
Even if it came out that the guy was totally guilty and goes to jail.
Yeah, then you can drop him and call him whatever name on the list you want to call him. But until that, like there's no proof, like you said. There's literally no proof, at least, on the surface.
It's public.
That show has too much burping.
Yeah. Martina and I sat down and we watched the first episode of that, and she couldn't take it because.
I mean, yeah, you picked probably one of the worst.
Really
very
disgusting.
Crude. It's very crude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was funny and
It's very
entertaining.
It's clever,
but
it is very clever. It's also very crude, and it's definitely not for everyone. So
yeah.
In my opinion, it
Just
had
couldn't take all the
3
burping,
good
but-
seasons. I mean, 2 great seasons, 1 good season, and then it just fell out of the gate. And
season 3 was like peak.
yeah, season 3 was pretty great. But yeah, season 1 was was meh. Was the introduction.
The newest season had some pretty good episodes, and it also had some of the worst ones I've ever seen. Like there was
Damn.
It got really gross.
Haven't watched it at all, like since season 4 or something like that. I'm like, I can watch it on HBO, but it's like I'd rather just watch something that I'm going to enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what you do. You find something that's good, unless it's so bad that you can make videos on it. So that's what we do on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
That's most of the news. There's a little bit of updates on Eliza Blue. I don't know if you know, but there's a bunch of backlog of her talking about her alleged trafficking. I'm not going to play the video on here, but go look up this tweet, and it's not trafficking. It's just catfishing. Yeah. So that's that.
Good to know.
Let's talk about Critical Role.
First off, to answer your question, Mark Clark, I haven't listened to the audio drama Dark One Forgotten by
not
Brandon
yet.
Sanderson.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to do some research on that because I know the Dark One started off as a comic book.
This is a prequel, yeah.
This is a different story.
It's a prequel.
Okay, I didn't know that, so I'd heard about it and I saw it, but I didn't.
You don't need to know anything about the Dark One.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
but yeah, I did start listening to his secret project on Spotify, the Tress of the Emerald Sea. So
it's not on Spotify. Oh, sorry.
On Spotify.
It is on Spotify.
It's not on Audible. It's on Spotify or Speechify or just downloaded MP3. So.
Yeah, I plan on listening to that. I currently have 2 hours left on The Great Hunt, which is so good. Oh, Corwin's going to be jumping on.
The Great Hunt that's one of the
Wheel of Time book 2.
Wheel of Time, right?
It is my personal favorite. Like it's not the best Wheel of Time book. It's my favorite though. I love it so much. Just the finale is so good, and I'm right there. Like it's all the pieces are there, and I'm like, ugh.
And I always forget to get into the Wheel of Time. I really want to. It sounds so
man,
good.
It's a commitment. Don't do it unless you're ready.
I'm gonna finish Tress of the Emerald Sea, and then I'm gonna start the Wheel of Time series on Audible.
I love the second book so much. The first book is probably the weakest, right? It's a really good book, but it's not super unique.
Yeah.
And then the second book kind of starts off similar, and you're like, oh, this is great. We're just more of the characters, and then like the last third of the book, just like the last quarter shifts drastically, and you're like, wait a second, this is not what I was expecting, and it's so good. Like it gets really dark and wonderful, and I love the finale. I love the finale so much. So that's what I'm on. I've not finished. I haven't started Tress of the Emerald Sea. That's next. Okay.
Yes.
Next.
I am in the middle of it.
Gotta finish the Great Hunt. Because I don't know if they're ever going to announce the Wheel of Time season 2, but I got to be ready for when it comes out. I also need to read book 3 because they're mashing the 2 and 3 together.
2 and 3 together in the second season.
We're gonna rip that season apart, and I want to have the books fresh in my mind. So let's talk about Vox Machina. I loved these 3 episodes. I had a great time. I had a couple reservations with episode 3, right? We talked about it last week. Like I didn't really love it. Like it didn't quite come together for me. And like episode 4, like fixed all of the problems that I had with episode 3. Like explained everything that I was like, what's this? I didn't really get any of that.
Yeah.
You mean the Raven, right?
Yeah, like there's just a lot of vague stuff that happened in episode 3, and I was like, I don't really know what any of this is about. And then I loved episode 4, and then episode 5 was just as good, and episode 6 was like, pretty good.
Yeah,
I loved these 3 episodes.
I agree. I like it. I still have a couple issues with it, and we'll get to that. I do like. We talked about before how the previous 3 episodes kind of felt like they were rushing and trying to cram everything in without leaving anything out, and I feel like there's still a little bit of that, but there's more of a connected through line, I think, now with these next 3 episodes. They're doing different things, but they're trying to find these what do they call them? Not the essences.
Visages.
The visages,
yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're trying to find the different visages or whatever. And so even though there's different, completely different tones of the episodes through and through, there is that through line, and then the constant threat with the dragons. One issue I did have though is I like what they're doing kind of with these individual characters. There seemed to be another connecting theme of the individuals struggling with something personally, right? So battling their inner demons, so to speak.
Right.
Grog has got the sword that's trying to, seek out blood and stuff, and Vax has the, this crow's armor that he's dealing with. So they all have kind of their personal demons that they're dealing with, and I like that. I think they're doing a little bit too much death fake outs.
Yeah,
which is, I mean, it's D&D, so again, it's kind of hard to separate from the source material. That happens all the time in D&D. It's like, oh, you're critically injured, you're gonna die unless you get healing. Oh, you're healed, yay. But it's it's a little bit silly. The last 3 episodes ended with Vexilia dying, and then she was resurrected. Now this one ended with Pike dying, and she's not going to die either. So
probably, yeah.
Yeah, I do know that sometimes people do permadie in their campaign,
and then they pick up another character.
But yeah, but obviously, this is a little bit of game mechanics. Getting knocked, dropping to 0 HP and then being revived, but also death and then resurrection.
Yeah,
it happens a lot in D&D. I agree they could probably cut some of the deaths, but I can also see the perspective of someone who'd watched their show wanting to see those moments on screen, and it doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah, I was going to say, sorry.
But
I was going to say probably when Bex, I don't even know. Bex is the girl, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
Excelia.
Bex and Vex.
Yeah, I thought Box was the girl because but yeah, when Bex died, then I was like, okay, obviously she's not gonna die. And it's probably going to be way more impactful when they actually say what the armor is going to do, and about what being the champion for the crow girl or whatever is going to do to Box. But Bax, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Vox Machina, Vex and Vax.
Yeah. Vex and Vax. Well, the boy and the girl, the boy twin and the girl twin. But the moment felt really great. Like, it felt natural. It felt like the reaction that some regular person would have if they saw their sister die in their hands, basically. And I know they have sometimes the possibility to revive them and also to heal them, but it's like they don't know it, and we don't know it as well. So it gives you the feeling that, okay, something might go wrong. But like you said, you're right. After 2 or 3 times where they fake out the death, you're like, okay, I'm not going to believe that no one's dead until you actually, not even then, because this girl was completely gone, and then they're like, oh no, I'm going to change my life for hers.
I believe mechanically she was like resurrected by the god. Which means he probably took, is multi-classing in like warlock and now has a pact with the Raven God. But that's just D&D speak, right? It did seem pretty clear to me that like the first fake out death did seem pretty clear. She was dead, and the only reason she came back was because the god brought her back, and now he owes some kind of debt, which I'm fine with that kind of stuff. The second, the Pike death is, well, it didn't show her die, right? But I don't know. I agree. It happens a little too often. It doesn't bother me that much because these things obviously did happen in their campaign, and while you could condense them, I don't like, but I'm totally fine with this sticking to the source material.
The Pike one was great. Like, that was one episode that was my favorite episode of the whole season. That episode was awesome. Scanlan just being a badass, showing love to
Oh yeah, that was
a
funny.
Sphinx. That was
That was
funny.
great.
That guy's funny. He was a little bit annoying in the first season with all
Just a little bit.
the brave stuff, but that was the point. That was the point. So make him as annoying as you can. So when he actually has a character development with that episode, that was one of my favorite of the first season, when he's like one on one with this crazy the soldier and he does everything he can, and he managed to do it somehow, and that was one of the greatest payoff of the whole season one. And season two, well, that was also a great episode that showed us that Scanlan is only like that because he feels lonely and he feels empty,
Yeah.
and he doesn't have anyone in their life. So he's trying to basically bang everyone that he can. So even boys, girls, and it's
Character
a
development, guy.
yeah.
It's good. I feel like they're spending enough time with the group.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like after these, I feel like I know the group pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They,
The only thing I don't like at all is like they keep giving Killit some BS powers that they come out of nowhere.
yeah,
Like
it's a
this
little
episode,
overpowered, right?
yeah, she's obviously the most powerful one of the bunch, and I am
Definitely.
fine with that. She's a lovable character, and she acts like
Yeah.
the lovable misfit. Um, and that's
But
great. That's her
what
character.
Yeah,
what
that's
balances
definitely
that out
custom
is
stuff.
she's
I don't know
not.
you can do those kind of things in vanilla D&D. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I
What
mean, she's
balances that
supposed
out
to.
though is she's not very trained in that, right?
yeah.
She
No,
can't
but
do that all the time.
it's like nowadays it's like, okay, she can open trees and just portal in everyone to anywhere. Like she didn't even know where the tree was, and
Yeah.
she's oh well in Valheim now, and everyone's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
she can. They can fly now. Yeah, she can fly now. And then her episode with the test that she got, the whatever, I don't remember the specific name. That was good. That was a good episode. I think that, like I said, she deserves being the most powerful one of the crew. But now this episode with Pike is like, okay, now she can teleport anyone from the dirt and just throw them to random universes in other planes of existence. That's just like, okay, that's a little bit too much. Come on, why didn't okay, wait,
Yeah.
obviously I couldn't do it, but
Yeah.
because she was just
She has
stabbed.
done stuff like that before, but most of the time it's like doing a teleport through a tree or
Mhm.
that
Because
sort of thing.
nature, is
Right. Yeah, she's connected with nature.
yeah,
She's
but
a
now it's like, okay, I'm going to
druid
do a spell
elf or
that,
something.
if Scanlan did it, it was like, okay, Scanlan is magic, he can uh materialize most of the things that he sings. So yeah, other thing that was the best episode in my opinion from that season until now. With I didn't got to talk about you with you about the first episodes. I thought they were a little bit rushed. I
For
think you
sure.
said it as well. Yeah, episode two, most of it. Episode one was like, how everyone surviving this mayhem?
Yeah.
Like, my
Yeah.
God. I mean, it felt great. I gave me like um a lot of excitement. I was like, holy moly, what's going to happen next?
Yeah. It added
But yeah, the
tension.
episode.
It was a
Mhm.
little bit too Man of Steel, where you're like, okay.
Yeah. Too much
Okay,
destruction. Yeah.
And especially now that they're showing like people bringing them tribute after, you're just like, what people? Who would be left? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was like, okay. The dumbest part is when they go to their home and they try to lock the doors to keep the dragon out, and it's like, it's a dragon. He can just fly it in. And he doesn't, or she. I don't know. She just breaks through the door, and okay, whatever. Episode three, like you said, wasn't my favorite. There are a lot of things that were left like to the open, and then they will resolve immediately in episode four, and you were like, okay, now it makes sense, and now Bax is way more powerful, and that's cool because he was a little bit useless. The only thing that he could do in season
Right.
one was opening doors. He was like the opening door guy, and yeah.
Yeah, it kind of felt like it was like, oh, okay, we need to like power you up with everyone else now.
Hmm. And I mean,
But
I cannot wait to see what they do with Vex, because I'm hoping that she founds like this the bow, the vestige, the bow
oh
that
yeah,
is
the
super
bow.
Mhm.
cool, and she's probably going to use it, which is like okay, a little bit convenient. But you know, a lot of people used bow and arrow back then, or in that type of universe, you know.
Mm.
And yeah, the thing with Grog was amazing,
Oh yeah,
amazingly done. It
Grog has been
was
really good.
amazingly done. I mean, the whole thing about him growing a beard was hilarious. I was like, okay, that was a good, that was a good thing. But the sword, oh my god, it's like when he goes insane and that rampage start attacking that rake is like,
That scene was awesome.
yeah, that scene was awesome. And now you see why Grog is the toughest one. You know, he can handle most of the things that nobody else in the group will handle, but
But
his
he
weakness is
still,
probably his own strength.
yeah, he still gets beat up by an old man in the temple, right? In the
And that was
dojo or
awesome. It's
whatever.
like, where do your strength come from? And he's like, I don't know. And he just keeps smacking his across the face. And he's like, yeah,
It
you're not going to learn anything. Someone just smacks you across the face and tells you, oh, you're wrong. I don't think that's a pretty good way to learn something. But yeah,
there's a nice little callback to that with the Sphinx and
yep.
cool.
Yeah, the whole thing with the Sphinx. It was like, how are they going to beat that? And I was not expecting for Scanlan to literally make a song when he was like, okay, I'm going to try this out, and I was like, okay, probably the he's going to sing, right? But I was expecting, I don't know, for the Sphinx to, you know, throw off his guard, and then he will hit him with his foot or something like that. His Scanlan hand.
I saw it coming, but I've played a kind of similar character, and that's what I would have done. Like, oh, just make him sad. But it was a
That
good
was a
joke.
that was a good song. Like, he's a
Oh
great
yeah,
singer. He's a great singer.
it's
I
been
I am
fun. The
happy
music's
about that,
good.
because I've been watching too many movies that say, "Oh, the characters sing," and they just sing like trash, and it's like, okay, you feel bad for the actor that is trying their best, you know. But yeah, no,
Uh,
here they really brought a singer, probably like a metal, you know, something like that, rock singer, and yeah, he's doing a great job. I really enjoy his character. I've been loving it so far, and that's probably what I have to say about this.
I think my biggest problem is the Dragon Conclave, whatever name they have for it. I don't know what the heck they want.
Yep.
I don't know what they're
Other
trying to
than
do.
tribute. Yeah.
Yeah. It
Hmm.
seemed like, yeah, if all they wanted was people to bring them gold, I don't know, like their move of just destroying the city wasn't smart. And so like
Yeah.
they obviously have to want something more than that, and it would be nice to know like what the stakes were, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Although it was good to find out in these episodes that he came through the portal that they
yeah.
just closed.
Yeah,
That was cool.
no, like I said, I really loved these episodes.
Yeah.
So like that
Yeah,
it's
love them
good.
better than the beginning. I was like, okay, I don't like this season as much as the first one,
Yeah.
but then these episodes come, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, it's pretty good so far, and it's getting to the level of the first one. The first one was just maybe because there was just such a um reduced story. You know, there was just
Mhm.
a story point. And it started a little bit scattered, but then with the whole thing about the rice woods, it's like, okay, no, no,
Yeah.
no. This is the main focus of the story,
Yeah,
and that really benefit them. Another thing
The
I wanted to
Briarwood
say,
arc was just really good. It was dark and good.
yeah, yeah. And the thing I wanted to say is like I feel like Percival is now useless. Like without his demon, he's just useless.
Oh
He's
yeah, yeah.
shooting at everything, and
I
and
forgot that they
nothing
wrapped
makes,
that up, and yeah.
yeah, nothing makes any like effect on the enemies. It's like, come on, you're supposed to be a smart guy, haven't you realized that your weapon does nothing? Just build a better one. And for one episode in the first season, he actually builds one better, and
Yeah.
it just broke. And he's like, okay, I'm going to drop this now. I'm not going to make it again. The sniper rifle, that it was a cool rifle. It's like, okay, one time only, and yeah, then I forgot or whatever. Make
Yeah.
another weapon, bro, or create another bullet or something, but be helpful. You're boring, man. You're only getting beaten. Yes.
Martina thinks the dragons are going to betray each other because why not? I don't know. I want to know what they want. I want to know what their goal is.
Yeah,
It's
I
like-
hope we get more of that backstory of their intentions other than just wreaking havoc and claiming loot. Because it did mention in there that usually dragons don't work together, right?
Yeah,
Right.
they
So
never.
why are these guys different? We need some sort of explanation. So
Yeah, and I get, it's probably just, if you're doing an actual campaign, you don't want to give all the answers right away, but if you're adapting it, you gotta kind of give a little bit to the audience that the players didn't know at the time, right? It's fine.
We only have season at the half, first
we're
half
halfway
of the
through.
season, and then next 2 weeks is the rest of the season. So I'm hoping I have really really good expectations about this show.
I'm pleased. It's I'm happy for these guys. Like, congratulations, Critical Role. It's a huge accomplishment, and it's doing really well enough to get picked up, by Amazon themselves, and cool.
Yeah,
the animation's great too. Like, it's just fun. It's just good old fashioned anime stuff. So
it's better than I would say that's even better than most of the fantasy anime that I watch.
yeah.
Because they actually know the games, they actually know D&D, and they know what we fantasy fans we want to watch, and it's funny and it's clever. It's never too much. Sometimes it is almost too much, but they resolve it, and it's way more satisfying to see that result, and to not get that far.
I will say it was odd to have a Sphinx who his entire existence has never felt pain, to have him die in his first fight with a dragon.
yeah.
Yeah, that was like, I mean, I know that these things were supposed to be extinct, and that he was probably isolated from most of the world, but
Dragons have magic too, so in D&D, like,
yeah, I mean, and he was not a regular, dragon. He was like an acid dragon, so he probably got high, and that's why he does. Oh no, different kind of acid.
I was expecting some like dying breath thing, and it's like, thank you, Scanlan, for
he did say thank you for showing me the name of the girl's Sphinx one more time.
Yes,
you're right. Iris, I believe
he did do that, but I would have liked some follow up on, hey, I've never known pain. Is like some line about, hey, now I know.
Yeah,
emotional and physical pain.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, they totally forgot about that trope, right? They were like, no, never mind. Now he knows pain. And, yeah.
I'm trying to. The Dragon Conclave. Okay, sometimes, Martina, your jokes are just too far removed.
The Dragon Cornucopia. The Dragon Coconut. Cornucopia, you can see the through lines, but yeah.
Cornucopia was better. Coconut, not as much.
I love you, babe.
You only can do that if you are Mexican.
What's the actual name, though? It's not, was it just called the Dragon Conclave? No,
I think it's the Conclave. Yeah,
it was the something Conclave. They had a name for it.
Yeah.
Did they?
It's a good show.
But they actually, I think that they only mentioned the name like twice, so it's not like sticking up. Yeah,
I'm really thirsty. So,
yeah, me too. I'm having
Chroma Conclave.
The what?
The Chroma Conclave.
The Chroma. Yeah, that tells me less.
Yeah. That's what it. That's
would be more It would be more descriptive if it was the Dragon Conclave.
Yeah.
Let's do some bad takes.
Hell yeah.
Let me pull up the. I have too many videos now. I need to organize these.
Screen rants. Bad takes.
That 90s show suffers from a big How I Met Your Father season 1 problem, like existing.
Existing.
Like it's a sequel to a popular show that no one asked for a sequel to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm going to say that um, in defense of the '90s show, it's not as bad as How I Met Your Father.
I have heard it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's
Um,
not that bad. If you like
I've just
the
seen
70s show,
pictures of the cast though, and I'm just like, no, I'm
yeah.
good.
I mean, I'm
good.
going to because I already watched it through, and I was like, okay, there's nothing on YouTube about this. No one is watching it, so I'm not going to waste my time making a video about it. But I was a big fan of that 70 show. Like I watched it like 7 times. Well,
Wow.
it's one of those shows that you can just put in the back and just do chores, and it's going to be like going to crack you up once in a while. It's not even
Right.
that bad, but
Yeah, I've seen it. I never watched it though.
mhm.
Never got into it.
No, that was one of the shows that I really, really liked when I was, a youngster. um, but yes, I missed it because it was no longer on Netflix. So I was like, okay, going to definitely watch the 90s show. And when in the first episode they bring like most of the original cast, it's like,
Yeah,
wow,
I've,
they really
I've
went
seen a lot
there.
of clips.
Yeah,
They brought a bunch of people back, which is fun.
yeah, and
But I think
basically, yeah. Sorry,
go
go
on.
ahead.
No, go on.
Okay, basically the show would have been terrible if it was just like the new kids,
Mhm.
but when the regular cast is on, it's like, oh my god. And Kitty and the dad is like, they're always fun. They're not as fun as the
Mhm.
regular show. The dad is not always saying, "Oh, I'm going to beat your bottom and going to stick things up your bottom and you dumbass," and things like that.
Yeah,
Which was great. It was one of the funniest parts of the show. The only reason why I watched it was just to saw the dad calling a dumbass to his son. But yeah, the
I
one like 4 episodes are great, and the rest are just like probably garbage.
yeah, I think the best thing it has going for it is having the grandma and grandpa
Mhm.
still in the show and still
Yeah.
just being their grumpy characters. Like that's probably the show's biggest asset. Like you
And
said, the cameos are working pretty well. But
and
yeah,
Fest is also in the show, and he's
yeah,
hilarious. He's doing the same voice that he did when he was so young. It's like, oh my god, bro! Like, are you smoking helium, or how are you able to do that voice? Like, if you have watched any of NCIS or with Wilder Valderrama, he has an immense voice. So it's like,
right.
oh, it's so great that you did the same voice and the same type of joke. Like, he's like, I speak broken English, and it's so funny. It's actually funny. So yeah,
Is he
uh,
still speaking broken English?
yeah, I did,
20,
yeah,
20 years later,
yeah.
it's not that unbelievable. I know people who have lived here
Bro.
for
I know
like
people
50
in
years and still don't speak English.
yeah,
Yeah.
bro, it's insane. And
Um,
but yeah, I say that it's not that bad. A good background show.
I will say that the girl picture in this picture looks like a good cast. Like she looks like
She
a,
is.
a cross between the characters that are playing her parents. The rest
Yeah,
of the cast,
it's awful. Yes.
every single one looks awful. I mean,
Oh, the kid that looks like Kelso, he looks so much like Kelso, and he's Kelso
oh,
basically.
this one, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he
So
is
this is
basically
good.
Kelso.
This is I don't. Yeah, okay. I mean, he
Yeah,
looks like a dick, but
he is kind of but he was a
he
Kelso,
does kind of look like Ashton Kutcher. Everyone else just
Yeah, the rest is just
it just
garbage.
looks
Like
so
the black chick
generic
is yeah.
diversity. Like
The black chick, she's like how do you say, like a feminist, She's like a female black height, and the Chinese I don't even remember Lori, or I don't remember the name of the girl that
yeah,
plays Mila Kunis. Chinese Mila Kunis, and the Chinese gay kid. He's gay, by the way. He's one of the funniest part of the show because he's overtly stereotypical gay.
right.
90s gay. so he's funny because of that. But it's like when when you think about it, it's like, okay, they are really going for it. It's like, okay, this show, if it wasn't the 90s, the show could have not been made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just not interested in watching it at all.
Oh, yeah.
I did watch 3 episodes of How I Met Your Father like a year ago, and it was unpalatable. So there was
Yeah, that's
one
one show
good
I'm not gonna
character.
watch.
The British guy was really funny, and he was barely in it. Is criminally underused, and oh man, it was painful. Like, does the 90s show still have a laugh track? Do they use a laugh track?
Oh, I hate that.
Because they that's what they did for How I Met Your Father. They had a laugh.
Yeah.
They had a laugh track the whole time. It's just so
Annoying.
painful.
Yeah.
How I Met Your Mother didn't have a laugh track, did it?
Yeah,
No, it did.
It did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the only reason why it was funny.
But if you're doing a remake, it's okay to not include a laugh track, guys.
Mhm.
It wasn't good.
Yeah. This one also has a laugh track, and it's really annoying. It's like invasive. Like,
Yeah. In
Yeah, we
modern
don't-
shows,
we
laugh
don't do
tracks
those
just
anymore
stand out
for
like
a reason.
sore thumb.
mm-hmm.
Are there
Yeah.
any like modern shows that aren't like remakes that still do a laugh track?
There was one.
I guess Big
with
Bang Theory
Tim
was
Allen.
probably the last one, right?
Tim Allen came up with a new original sitcom show
Oh, but
that
come
I
on.
tried watching, and it had a laugh track too. It's like I love Tim Allen; he's a funny guy, but that laugh track, I couldn't do it. I don't remember what it's called.
Are you talking about Last Man Standing?
Yeah, that's the one.
That is a great show, by the way.
Yeah, it was funny. It had some funny stuff in there, but the laugh track was just too much. I even laughed at some of the jokes. I was like, that's a funny joke. Don't put the laugh track in there. It's off-putting. It takes me out of it.
It's disingenuous, is what it is.
Yeah, it's absolutely disingenuous. The
Ah.
joke should stand by themselves, if
It's
it's funny, it's funny.
It's just the laugh track has just kind of been a part of comedy shows on TV since the beginning of time. So
Yeah, and it worked back then. It doesn't work now.
Yeah.
I
Jokes
will
are different
disagree
now.
with that. I don't find them that off-putting. Of course, I don't watch that much TV, but
Mm-hmm.
I think there's other things. I think there's other things that need to be complained over than a laugh track. More important.
Oh yeah, it's not the biggest problem of both of these shows by a long shot. So,
Sorry I'm late, everybody. I apologize though. I got stuck at work with crazy people. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you
I mean,
came
you
just
do
in,
work for that.
Kind of
came
the
just
nature
in
of the
time.
job.
Because we're doing bad takes, and this is one you sent me. You were so excited. You emailed me. This is the worst take I've ever seen, and we've already done it.
Oh.
Like a month ago when it first came out, Corwin.
well, I'm not on the
to
show
the
every
game.
week.
2 months
That's
ago.
another thing. I apologize.
2 months old. Yeah,
It's
but you are
bad
correct.
enough that we can
This
do it
is one
again,
of the
though.
worst bad takes of all time.
Mhm.
The 10 worst written female characters in sci-fi movies. If you missed it, it's literally just a list of good female characters.
Except for
Except the
Claire.
first one. Yeah, this
Yeah,
this
exactly.
one's horrible. But then Padme, she's great.
Padme,
Wally.
Ava. Mhm.
Not Wally, Evie, but yeah.
Well, yeah, the girl in
Eve,
Wally.
Ah,
Because
in Mexico, she's Eva.
even space humans can't evolve beyond gender. Yeah, this we've gone over how bad this article is. It's so friggin' bad.
It is garbage. But
Yeah.
I did do something that you guys didn't do.
Yes, that is true.
And this is the best part. Like, so before you click it,
Yeah.
what would you guys think this author is like? Knowing this article, like, would you say he lives in his mom's basement?
Well,
Would
his
you-
name is Ajay Aravind, which I'm pretty sure is not a real name.
But
And
just like the
and
person
it sounds
who
too
writes,
much like vagina.
like the person who writes this, what would you assume his profile would say? That he lives in his mother's basement, that he's a crazy liberal turd.
Your pronouns on
Pronouns
the
in
bio.
yeah.
Yep.
Ukraine flag, gay flag, you
Okay,
name it.
click the author's, click it. Do it.
Okay,
Do it.
so Ajay Aravind,
Oh my god.
his self-written bio is
Self-written bio.
Well, first off, you can look at this picture.
Yeah, fancy artistic rendition of whatever.
Yeah,
the
he
hell
already
that
looks
is.
like a pansy.
A jay's natural habitat is his bedroom, which means that his time is spent staring at his TV screen in a hypnotic coma. He tends to rant about the lack of quality programming in his life by complaining about the best examples of female characters, right? But the amount of content he consumes would make even Galactus gassy.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my god.
And that has
And
been edited.
You
I will
can
say that has been
contact him.
edited.
You can contact him on Twitter at Stained Princess.
I
dude.
sent it to Alan. This is the one you just pulled up right now, right? It's not
Yeah.
a screenshot.
He's written almost 1,000 articles.
And this is not a screenshot, right? You live pulled this up.
This is live.
So when I sent that to you, it said in the beginning part, lives in his bedroom. It said in his mother's basement.
That's
Are
hilarious.
you serious?
Yes, 100%.
Refresh the page. Does it say something
Yes.
different?
No, this
That's
is
not
brand
randomly
new.
generated, right?
I pulled this up today. Yeah.
I know. Refresh it.
No, it's not
Honestly,
randomly generated.
Okay.
No.
Why would his profile be randomly generated?
That could like cycle through a couple different things or something.
No. It's not.
Well, it makes sense
Anyway,
that he would take it down,
Yeah.
And CBR wonders why people think they're a stupid company. It's because they have morons like this writing their articles for them.
Yeah, but I mean, what other kind of people would write almost 1,000 articles in 2 years?
Well, so they
Scroll through some of his other articles because those first two look to be some anime thing I've never heard of.
Deku's most controversial choices in My Hero Academia. I
Who
don't care.
cares?
Oh, I have heard of My Hero. Yeah, My Hero Academia again.
It's all a bunch of-
Yeah, he's a weeb.
He just sits at home and watches anime and complains about stuff that's not anime.
10 most controversial choices in House of the Dragon. It was really
My
just
God.
the one, but betrayals that cut Einstein to the core. I mean, these don't look terrible, but
Yeah.
10 most boring TV show endings. Yeah. This guy.
Typical.
But it's just hilarious that the person
10
you would
greatest
assume
losers
wrote
in
that
movie
stuff
history.
wrote that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty hilarious, Corwin.
Well, they brought up this topic on Friday Night Tights like 2 weeks ago. They were talking about. They brought up the fan-sided website. The winter is coming, and Amazon Advisor, and they brought up literally one of the articles that we did on this show. That I think it was specifically. Rings of Power season 2 will not air in January.
Yeah.
And they're pretty sure that those articles are written by artificial intelligence,
Oh.
which is a
Makes
new
sense.
thing for like Chat GPT.
That would make sense. That's free
It
content,
does.
free clicks.
It does make more sense to me now.
Yeah.
Like in hindsight, I'm
Mhm.
like, yeah, that's probably because we've gone over so many of those, and
Yeah.
they never
And-
actually like talk about the headline. It's just like,
Yeah, they just kind of rant nonsensically about the headline or about the show in general. They don't really say anything.
so I don't think CBR and Screen Rant use AI yet, but they might as well. Like the quality,
They should probably.
the quality
They
of their
probably write
articles are
better dribble than whatever this guy's writing.
Yeah.
right. But I thought that was interesting, and I think it's 100% correct. I it's got to be. It's the only thing that makes sense now that those the Wheel of Time season 2 is not coming in this.
That
month.
would be a funny experiment is if someone could get a job on one of these sites and purely just like generate an article through AI and see how long it takes for people to notice that a human did not generate that article.
Probably wouldn't know.
I sense another YouTube channel.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Well, if you're publishing it on YouTube, you'd get caught for sure. But
Well, yeah, for sure. But
yeah,
I mean, you can do it
a
and
little
then
experiment.
upload the videos.
Just make a
until you
movie
get
about
caught.
it over the next like 6 months. or year, or
Well-
like just make a continual movie that you only video that you only release on YouTube after you've been caught.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would be hard for me personally to do it because of this show, obviously. But
Because you're making
Yeah.
fun of them so much.
I don't even know how to use AI, so I'm not going to mess
Best
with
would be
that.
if one of your crappy articles written by AI was featured on this show, and you couldn't say a thing.
oh,
And
that,
Yeah.
would be,
to rip it to shreds. Oh my gosh!
that would be next level. Oh, this freaking
That would
soy
be so
boy lives in
funny.
his grandma's basement. What is this article? It would honestly, it would be free content for the show.
Yeah.
I could just write my own Screen Rant articles.
Oh man, it's going another level deep.
Mhm.
I could just come up with horrible things.
Now it's got to happen. I got to find out how to apply to a job at one of these stupid sites.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple more. We got can Avatar: The Way of Water and Top Gun: Maverick save the Oscars from rating slump? No. Why would anyone who enjoyed those two movies watch the Oscars?
Mhm. There's no way they win Best Picture.
They
Also,
might get
who-
best
who
visual
cares?
effects for Avatar because I mean the effects are insane.
Probably.
Ah, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's the
But
most
the-
expensive movie ever.
But the people who watched these movies don't care about the Oscars because the Oscars
Right.
doesn't care about these movies. We know Top Gun Maverick's not going to win a single award. Whatever. Who cares?
Which is honestly, that just shows you how bad it is, because Top Gun Maverick is actually a really good movie.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The Oscars only cares about you know, the Oscar movies are Oscar movies. The friggin' Call Me by Your Name, which is a movie about pedophilia, wins the Oscar, right? Like
Yeah, I was gonna say Top Gun Maverick didn't have anything woke in it, so it's
exactly. It's not going to win anything.
Yeah.
Did the Oscars happen already? I don't know.
No, it's going
Don't
to
know,
happen
don't
in
care.
2 weeks or something like that.
Yep. you
After
said
the
it.
Super Bowl.
I legitimately do not know.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
don't-
do you remember the time when Oscar movies were just regular great movies?
Yeah,
It was like
Titanic and something
exactly.
like that. Like the Godfather.
Yes.
Yeah, they used to have good movies on the Oscars. Now they don't.
what award show was it when Ricky Gervais?
That's the Golden Globes.
The Golden Globes. Ah, that's the only time I've actually. I've literally have that saved just because it's so
Because it's good.
So
amazing,
great.
amazing.
Yeah, and there's no way they're going to bring him back. So
Oh no, no, and he knew it, and that's why he's sitting there the whole time like I don't care, like drinking up on stage. It's my last time. I'm doing this on purpose because f all of you.
the best thing was the Harvey Weinstein. He's like,
Oh
don't get mad at
my
me. He was your friend, not mine. Like,
And Tom Hanks
God.
is like,
Yeah. it's
oh
up
no,
there,
the best
I
was
love-
when it panned over to not Tim Allen, to Tom Hanks.
Tom
And his
Hanks,
reaction,
yeah.
and you're just like,
and he's just like,
Like-
mm.
I mean, do you,
Yeah.
Or when
do
he goes,
do you
you
know
get
how
up
many
here-
times he went to Epstein Island? Yeah.
if you get up here and win your award, you're in no position to talk to the people about politics. Don't get up here and bash a politician. Just get up here, thank your producer, thank your God, and F off stage.
Yep.
I loved it. You're in no position to talk to the people about politics.
mhm.
You're so disconnected. Just F off. Be
Yep.
done.
And then what did they do is I think the first speech up there, the actress gets up there, I don't even remember who it was, and just
Talks politics.
tells her wrote
Yeah.
Railed on Trump.
memorized
on shit
speech
20
about being
2018
oppressed or whatever.
2019, So
Yeah.
No one cares about the Oscars.
Anyway.
No one cares about the Golden Globes. They're dead. They're dying, and no one cares. They
they
literally
should
had to
be.
pull a
Well,
stunt
they should
last
die.
time, with the Will Smith slap just to get any attention whatsoever. So
And that was only after the fact.
Yeah.
Everybody would watch the clips online after the fact, but nobody
Mhm.
watched it live.
well,
Yeah.
there's more. David, you sent me this one. Why The Last of Us Season 2 should ignore the video game sequel.
Yeah. So I
which
thought this
sounds
was-
like a pretty good take to me.
It sounds like a great take from CBR of all places.
The Last of Us adaptation has already been met with heaps of praise for its faithfulness to the game, but season 2 should not adapt the second game. Yeah,
I agree.
agree. Did you read this?
I read the headlines there. Joel should not be killed off.
Sorry, spoilers.
Cool.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. Oopsie. Oopsie. Joel should not be killed off in literally the opening of Game 2, Season 2.
Yeah, it was pretty traumatic, actually.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see it. I just don't want to see a man-looking woman-looking man, a transvestite peg some guy with a dildo. I don't want to see that.
Now you can leave that part
that's
out.
Pivotal. But that's the thing. That's pivotal, I guess, to the game of The Last of Us 2. I guess that's like pivotal to the story.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know, and I'm not going to find out. So.
Well, what's funny is like there are other sex scenes in the game, in the second game, and they all like fade to black or pan away very quickly, except for that one scene where the lesbian villain is pegging her girlfriend with a dildo, and it's like interactive. Like you have to push the button to thrust. Like
no,
that's so
like
awful.
why?
I haven't gone that far, so
I don't need that. You know, no. Damn.
What's the meme?
Yeah.
Like press F to pay respects.
Yep.
Press F to trust.
But no, it was a good. It was a good article, and the last one there says it should be a mini series. Like they shouldn't drag this on like
Exactly. Yeah.
like The Walking Dead. They should just stick to a story.
It's worded weird.
Decide where it's going to
Last
end.
of Us
and
could
end it.
also be a mini series. I don't know what that means. It
did
should.
we already talk about The Last of Us?
No,
show
we-
and all that?
no, we didn't. We
Not
talked
yet,
about
no.
Vox Machina first.
We did Vox Machina, and then we're doing bad takes, and then we'll talk
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, let's get
Last of
let's get
Us.
through the bag takes, and then we'll talk about the last.
Yeah, good
Well,
take.
I was just gonna say about this though.
No,
that,
no.
Okay, all right, we'll talk about it later.
No,
All right,
what do you want to say? What do you want to say?
No. We can talk about it later when we're talking about the show. We can do that.
Okay. So the Scooby-Doo spinoff has in the latest episodes had Velma pole dance for her father.
What?
Hell yeah.
If you want to
Hell
see
yeah.
What?
I mean, it's already depraved. Let's just do it.
some
Let's
screenshots
just, let's,
Wow.
let's go for it.
about
Oh no,
About
she's
that.
showing something that she shouldn't be showing.
yeah. That's,
Has anyone else noticed?
moving on quickly.
Has anyone else noticed that I've seen a lot of articles come up on my feed that says, despite critics, Velma's rise in popularity 127%. Or despite, have you
No,
noticed there's
yeah.
been articles where they're trying to sell you Velma?
Yeah, so it's a lie. So it's not actual viewership; it is internet activity that has spiked 150% because everyone is talking about how bad Velma is.
Yeah.
The statistics that they're pulling from, yes, and I have seen them. That Velma has spiked in popularity. No. No one's watching the show, guys. People are talking about how bad it is.
So then, I guess should we start a bet right now that the next episode's going to have Velma doing an OnlyFans with her father photographer? I've got $20, 2-1 odds.
Are you, Corwin? Are you still watching Velma?
No, I'm not watching Velma. There's going to be an article about it, or
Corwin.
a video about it, and then I'm going to win a ton of money because that's what's going to happen.
I mean, the finale is already up, so I don't know if.
We've got season 2.
Oh my god!
But
I don't know if we have
the creators, Mindy Kegel, has come out and said they claim that the series was inspired by their love of both animation and previous Scooby-Doo cartoons, because this show just screams respect for the source material.
Previous cartoons like Japanese hentai porn. We all know what Mandy Kegel's watching in her spare time. Give her some of that tentacle action.
They did this interview, and they're like, "Oh, we're such huge fans of Scooby-Doo. That's why we did this. Definitely trust me." Right? What's so impressive about? I don't even want to read this, but it's just Oh, it's a myriad. It's so impressive. It's packed into half hours. I don't care. This character, she's so iconic, and in the original series is so amazing. And we have a really diverse cast, but it's not a show that sort of hinged on their identity. So it's not a show that hinged on the iconicness of the character that you love so much.
Wow. Martina's
we all know that the voice actress, the witch that she is, we all know that this is her fantasy. We all know that she wishes she was back in high school so she could screw children and screw teenagers and pole dance for her father. We all know that that's what this is about. Velma even looks like her. We all know this is her disgusting fantasy.
They modeled the new Velma after Mindy Kaling. They made her look like her. Yes, because she's the creator. That way
she could
she's
live
the
out
writer.
Her
she's the sufferer.
Screwing 16-year-old teenagers and screwing Fred because there's not enough hentai on the internet for Mandy the Turd Kegel, whatever her freaking last name is. Mm-hmm. Move on. This pisses me off.
all this is a great point. All these shows have people claiming to be big fans of the material. If that were true, please hire people who hate it. Maybe it'll be good.
Hey, yeah, brother. Amen.
It's important to have naysayers. You can't just have yes people who say, "Oh yeah, whatever you want. Let's put that into the show." Martina also has a good comment. We're talking about
the song Friday also spiked in popularity, but not because it was good. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, people were watching it because they hate it.
But in that case, people actually were driven to the song to say, "Hey, how bad is this?" In this, it's literally just people on Twitter saying Velma is horrible. Yeah,
right. But the people that are watching it don't like it, even if they're going there saying, "Oh my gosh, I got to see how bad this is."
Yeah,
when they watch it. They're not saying, "Oh, this is actually pretty good." No, everybody online is saying it's garbage. The show, the ratings just keep dropping every single week after week. It's going down further and further. It's at currently, I just pulled it up. It's at 42% critics consensus and 6% audience score.
Mm-hmm. And for that 42% and the 6%, any FBI or CIA or NSA agents. You've got yourself a new list of pedophiles. They're right there.
Yep. Anybody that
that's
gave
like,
it a positive
score. A great show. You are a child molester.
Put them on a watch list. Yeah, for sure.
Put them on a watch list.
They have the list from Ghislaine Maxwell. You think they're going to go after these people?
They
haven't done anything about that list.
Cross-reference the lists.
They don't care.
Because there you go, But these people don't have the money to fight it in court, so of course they will.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to go after anyone.
And it's not Nancy Pelosi's husband. Oh, did I say that out loud? My bad.
You guys saw the video?
Yeah, so it was weird. I was like, what is going on?
None of it makes sense. The time is wrong on the video. The call came in at 2:00 in the morning. The time is 9 p.m. None of this adds up. Oh, it doesn't make sense.
Because Nancy Pelosi's husband and the guy that he says attacked him, they were screwing. We all know that. Let's just speak the obvious. I've never seen glass when someone broke inside where the glass is on the outside of the building.
Yeah.
There's no glass on the inside. It's just on the outside. No. They were screwing. That's what they were doing. Drugs. They found them both in their underwear.
They were just like Mr. Leahy and
So
Randy.
Before we get in too much trouble, we have more bad takes.
Yeah, I think we already crossed that
line. Kevin Feige admitted in an interview that if Marvel Studios doesn't entertain first, their social messaging will fall on deaf ears, which, on one hand is appropriate, but on the other hand is admitting that what they're doing is social messaging.
Also, what he's missing is the reason why these shows are not entertaining
is because of the social messaging. Exactly.
Yeah.
He gave a big old long interview. Nerdrotic covered it wonderfully. Go watch that video. I highly recommend it. But it's just sad.
Yeah. If it wasn't such bad messaging. There's shows that are great shows because they have great social messaging, and they are not in your face about it. They are not like, oh, if you don't agree with us, you're a sexist, homophobe, transphobe.
This was an actual quote from Tatiana Maslany. She said, just to even exist as She-Hulk as a character is a giant fu to fans. Like that's why she wanted the role.
Yeah,
we
she's an awful
loved
person.
the She-Hulk comics. That's not true.
Yeah.
Well, the first,
Yeah, not the new ones, but
yeah,
Put
not
me
the.
between your thighs, She-Hulk.
look at that. Reading the script, it was so true. There's so much resistance to a woman just existing in that space to see. No, not true at all.
There's some amazing female superheroes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
one of my favorite comics growing up, Sojourn. That had a nice female lead.
That's
okay.
Not superheroes, but yeah.
That was a comic book. Okay.
It's the same.
Red Sonja. Anybody? Okay.
Mhm.
What about let's go to the movies. So what about X-Men? Like when they did the original X-Men?
Heck yeah.
Half the cast is female.
Halle Berry was Storm.
Halle Berry was. Oof.
But
Storm is amazing. Rogue is one of my favorite characters.
She was always one of mine.
But she goes on.
Jean Grey is freaking awesome.
There's always going to be that. I sort of anticipated it. Anticipated what? Like
that the show was going to be bad, but probably.
What reality are you living in that people don't like female superheroes? No, we don't like insufferable female superheroes like Captain Marvel and She-Hulk.
Put down the male superheroes.
Yeah. And it's why I also feel it's so important to be insufferable.
There
is such an entitlement to space held by certain people, and to even exist as She-Hulk is like a giant fu, and I love that. These people are sick.
Oh my god!
These people
a female superhero that we love, Maeve from The Boys, and Starlight not that much, but
Black
Maeve
Widow's great too.
Maeve is great. Yeah, Starlight is good, but Maeve, Black Widow. Yeah, Black Widow was awesome until the movie.
The fans were literally saying that there should be a Black Widow movie 10 years before you made a Black Widow movie.
Right.
It was the fans that wanted one, and Marvel wouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they cucked it up once they did. They made it and they screwed it up.
Mm-hmm. It's not nearly as bad as what they're putting out today, though.
They're literally
that movie was.
They are genuinely trying to gaslight you into saying they're trying to make you think that maybe I did hate female superheroes all along if this is what they were.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is great. It's somehow it's baffling that Kevin Feige has somehow concluded that we are in need of his moral leadership.
Yeah, what's wrong with the Kevins of this world? No, Kevin Smith, Kevin Feige, yeah,
Kevin Spacey.
Okay,
Kevin McAllister.
The moral of this story:
Kevin Bacon's okay.
Do not name your children Kevin from this point on.
Yeah.
Oh man, not looking forward to Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, me neither. I hope it's bad. That's the only reason why I'm looking forward.
And the
they're gonna kill him, right? Ant-Man's gonna die, and the Wasp someone's gonna take up the mantle.
The daughter is like, I'm going to end woman.
Well,
I could see that probably happening.
Okay, there's one more bad take. Oh no, this is a good take. A Chinese company, Tencent. Well, okay, it's a medium.
Saw this.
It's a medium take. It's a half good take. Tencent wants to see no blacks and big boobs in its
Okay, you gotta remember though. You gotta remember, Tencent is a Chinese company.
Yeah,
and China, without question, is an undeniably extremely racist.
They are so racist. Yes.
Extremely racist. There are so many examples. We don't even need to go into them. Just look it up. The Chinese people, as a whole, and the country, China, are. And I'm not saying Chinese people here in the States. I'm saying Chinese people that live in China, China under the communist, they are so racist.
Yeah,
It is
that's why
unbelievable.
I always say that you can make fun of
They had
those
to-
racist.
Yeah, they had to Photoshop out Chadwick Boseman's face for the posters of Black Panther and Avengers to sell
There
the
are
movie in
many,
China.
many, many,
And
many
Boyega, John
examples.
Boyega, they made
And,
him a
yep.
little in the Chinese Star Wars posters. They put him as like a character in the very far background in the posters.
Mhm.
Like same thing, they erased him. They
But
are
this was definitely the
yeah.
funniest thing I read.
Yeah.
and of course they're like, we don't want black people in our movies, and we want girls to have gigantic jugs.
Because they don't have it on their country, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They don't have either in their
Yeah, naturally, I mean, they don't. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's half a bad take.
That's it.
That is half a bad take. Yep, there's one
It's
part
just
of that
so
that's bad.
I'll
It's
let you
another
decide
part-
which half is good, which half is bad.
Tencent wants to see no
Which
black
eyes?
and big boobs.
No
It's
black people
such a
and
funny
big
headline.
boobs.
At least they're honest, right?
Yeah.
At least
I
they're
agree.
honest about what they want.
But hey, it's been a pleasure to see
Yeah.
you guys this week, and I hope
Yeah.
that I can, talk to you next week. I hope the shows keep getting better and better. And
You said you had a special thing you wanted to mention before you left.
oh, thank you so much for reminding me. I just watched the Winnie Pooh Blood and Honey movie.
I didn't know that was out.
Yo, it's out. I don't know if it came first to Mexico. I'm not sure, but it's out. My God, I haven't laughed so hard at a movie for the entirety of the movie. I'm not sure if the guys that made the movie were such genius that they knew how to write the perfect, so bad is great movie, or they are just so incompetent and dumb
No,
that
you
the
have
movie
to.
is just. I
It
was so
had to have
confused.
been made ironically.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't-
because
you
I-
can't
Oh,
make.
Blood
Oh,
and
let's
Honey?
make.
but
You
it's
can't make
it's so
Winnie the
bad.
Pooh
It's
a slasher
hilarious.
movie
It's
without a hint of irony. Yes.
hilarious. I mean, there are things that you say, okay, this is ironic, but then the dialogue and the acting is like, my God, I never seen something so bad, but so funny. Everyone, even in Mexico, this thing about horror movies that are bad and that make you laugh, it's not a big thing. Everyone was laughing. Literally, everyone was clapping at the end of the movie. When the
So-
movie ended, everyone was clapping, just
I still need to see
laughing.
Violent Night, but I
My
want to see
God.
both. Yeah.
It's
Instant
better
person
than
clap.
Violent Night. I mean, Violent Night is a good movie. This
Yeah.
one is so bad. It's just gonna, like, you're going
Yes,
to
yes, Martini.
your
It's called.
belly. Yeah,
It's called Blood and Honey, or is it called Winnie
yeah.
the Pooh? Blood and
Blood
Honey.
and Honey, Winnie Pooh, Blood and Honey, and
Blood.
it's
And they did it
For
because
this-
the patent wore off, didn't it?
mhm.
Yeah,
When
it's
the
a-
original
Yeah.
was considered public
it's
domain
Public
now.
domain,
Yeah, it's
it's
public domain.
such low budget. It's I hope it makes its money back
Yeah,
because
called
it's
Winnie the Pooh,
hilarious.
Blood and Honey.
Yeah, the mask look horrible,
Oh,
horribly
well,
fake.
they didn't spend any money on it. Of course, they're gonna
Yeah.
get their money back.
right?
Yeah, it's Australian, so hilarious. Most of the time, you cannot even tell what they're saying. It's just so funny. It's,
Thick
my-
Australian accent.
God, I was expecting something, that they were trying to be serious about it, but they just failed miserably. But no, this is genuinely a work of a person that loves bad movies and wanted to make people laugh as hard as they can, and they achieve it. My God, they achieve it. If you want to watch a comedy, don't go watch a lame comedy like You People. Go watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, because
What-
no.
What's your favorite bad movie? Like so bad it's good.
Um,
Have
to
you seen
this moment
have you
that
seen
I've
Troll
seen
2?
is Terry and the T-Rex, or Carrie and the T-Rex, Jenny
mean-
and the T-Rex.
I haven't even heard of that one.
It's on YouTube actually. It's it's the first movie that Paul Walker was in, and Denise
Oh,
Richards is also in it,
I haven't even heard of that one.
which is weird. Yeah, Denise Richards in her prime.
Huh.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Have you
bad.
seen Troll 2 though?
No, I didn't even.
That's a great bad movie.
I'm gonna have to
It's
watch it.
so good. You like I haven't seen Troll 1. It's completely, it's not even the same movie.
Mhm.
And they're not even trolls in the It's just like it's so bad. It's got the famous
Yeah.
quote, the oh no, they're eating him and then they're going to eat me. Like you've
Yeah.
got to have seen that clip.
But I would say that Blood and Honey, it's up to that, that level of so bad is good, but I mean it was on purpose, so it's better somehow. Yeah, I don't know. It's just great if you can. I know it's C rating, and you guys, you don't watch many C rating movies, but if you want to watch a comedy, yeah, don't watch any of those Jew people movies and that are on
Blood and
Netflix.
honey.
What
Blood and
Blood and Honey? Yeah,
Right.
yeah. He cries,
Tammy,
bro. He cries, honey. Winnie the Pooh cries, honey. It's so hilarious. It's so funny.
Oh,
My
man.
God, it's so funny. I cannot stop laughing about it. And I
You are
just
right,
wanted
though.
to
It's
recommend you that movie before I leave because it's
called
great.
Tammy and the T-Rex is the other
Tammy
one.
and the T-Rex, yeah. That's
Tammy
also
and the
great. It's on
T-Rex. It's
YouTube.
Denise Richards and Paul Walker.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never
insane.
heard of this. This looks
It's
great.
insane. It's insane. Yeah, it's a mess.
This is wonderful.
But yeah, it's actually great. But like I said, love seeing you guys. Talk to you next week.
Yeah.
Peace. Take care of yourself.
Next up, have a
We'll
good
see you
one.
guys. We'll see you next
Right.
week.
I love that question you posed though. What's the worst movie that you absolutely love? Does anybody else have any other?
Oh, I don't have one that I
Suggestions?
love, but I've got a fantastic story. I think Alan's.
Uh-oh.
Is it the pirate story?
Yes. So
All right, let's hear it.
No, I was thinking about that like last week. I don't know what someone. Oh no, I think someone was talking about that movie, and I just remembered you telling that story, which is so funny.
this is back in the days of Blockbuster Video and Hollywood Video, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And for some of the millennials out there that aren't old enough to remember, if anyone's watching, instead of Netflix, you just had a store, and the stores would take the little cards or the cases and copy the cases and put them out on the shelves, and you'd pick up the case and you'd look at it and you'd read the back and you'd go, oh, I'd want to rent this movie for the weekend or whatever, and you'd go check it out. Well, we had a Hollywood Video next to us, and my mom was banned in our family. It was just a family ban. She was not allowed to rent movies after this. My mom she's definitely a window shopper when it came to movies. She'd like, if the case looked really good, if the cover looked good, she's like, oh, it must be a good movie. And we all know that B-level movies and C movies have phenomenal looking front covers, right?
You also need some context. Like your mom is like the sweetest. Like she is like she's also like, if you
She's
just
a
picture her, exactly.
Kathy Catholic or Molly Mormon. We're LDS, so she's Molly Mormon. But for those of us who don't know, she's a Catholic or a Betty Baptist.
But she's also like the picturesque like Southern accent, like
Bible thumping, Bible loving,
exactly.
sweetest peaches and cream and pie that you could ever have. That's my mother.
I see where this story is going. Continue.
So she picks up and this is around the same time the Pirates 1 came out.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. And so pirates were all the rage, right?
Yeah.
And apparently there was a cover. And the other thing about my mother is she's really into woman power. Like she
strong
loves
female characters.
Real strong female characters. She absolutely loves. And so she's walking by in Hollywood Video, and she sees this video, and it's called Pirates Sin Cities Cincinnati Sin Something Revenge. And it looks exactly like the pirate movie, like Pirates of the Caribbean movie, except instead of like Johnny Depp and all those people, it's a whole bunch of women on the front that are all decked out in pirate gear with their faces, and they look all badass and stuff. And she picks it up, she reads the back of it, and it says unrated. It was set unrated, so she's like, like a TV show or something, right? So she looks at the front, she reads the back, she's like, it could be good. So we're watching it down in our basement. The other thing you have to know about my mother is she is technologically stupid. I love my mom. It took her years to learn how to work a VCR. Okay. So she puts in the video, and it's me and her down in the basement, and we're watching it. And it starts off super wonky. It starts off with this captain guy, and he's like, ever since I hired so and so to be my first mate, all the guys, their attitudes of really, her training is great. And then it pans to like a flashback, and it shows this blonde porn star bombshell, like,
yep.
Oh yeah. So it just kind of shows her like training with the guys with swords, and then it does the stupid prank of like she does this thrust with her cutlass, and her boobs are kind of bouncing, and all the guys are like, "Oh, look at that." And that goes on for a while where he's like, and then she's good with money, and she's good with this, and she really knows how to make the crew's morale soar. The very next scene is her getting totally thrust upon by two dudes.
Yep.
Like, not even like just going at it. Just
Oh my god.
Just the yeah.
Oh my god.
And so my mom freaks out, and instead of hitting stop, she hits skip.
She hit skip chapter.
Yeah, skip chapter. Because the DVDs, for those, again, for some of you millennials who only know Netflix, DVDs have chapters in them. Well, these chapters are by sex scene of the movie, apparently.
Oh, no.
So it goes from two guys and a girl to two girls,
to
three girls to three girls and a guy. She hits it multiple times, screaming at the top of her lungs. No! Oh no! Skip chapter. Finally, I stood up, went up, and pressed pause, and just hits the stop button on the DVD. And I was like, "Mother, what did you rent?" And she was like, "It looks so good. This is the cover." Yeah, I looked it up on the internet. It's a gigantic, the most expensive.
This movie is famous.
Porn parody.
Yes. So it's a sequel. No, this movie's famous. It's the most expensive pornographic film of all time.
Yes. That's the one she rented.
And then this is the sequel, right?
Or maybe it was the sequel. She rented the sequel.
Yeah,
because it's
you said it was the
Stagnetti's
Revenge.
Stagnetti's Revenge.
There's like 6 of them. Okay.
You see the front of it, and you're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure. That looks like a, and you get it. Okay, it's a busty blonde, whatever."
Right.
But it
you could get fooled by that, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't scream porn. Oh, but it screams porn. Oh yeah.
Woo! My wife and I had a similar experience when we were first married. The Krampus movie came out, and so we went to Redbox to get that, and it was not the right Krampus. And we're like, "No, this is not good. This is not what we wanted." But we didn't hit the skip scene button. We were technologically savvy and turned it off. But,
well, there used to be. I mean, there still is. I mean, there is like there are companies that all they do is make like cheap versions of popular movies, hoping that moms will accidentally pick them up for their kids. And this is the same thing, but it's porn.
That's really funny.
The most expensive.
It's a lot funnier if you know Corin's mom, because you can literally just see her just screaming in horror, like, "Oh no! Oh mom!
Skip chapter. And it went from my mom's going to a whole bunch of girls going, oh.
Gosh.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that would be that was awkward, with my new bride that we just got married, but that would be even infinitely more awkward with your mom.
It was really bad.
Yeah. gosh.
Well, you know what's funny, and and like going back to those reminiscent days, like, dude, that was so much fun when I was a kid. Those were the best times
Oh, Hollywood
ever.
Video was so great.
Yeah, going to any video store and just being like, all right, which one are we gonna see now? Like looking at all the covers, reading them, and be like, all right, which movie we're gonna watch? Like that was so much fun.
Yeah.
And now that's the worst part of Netflix is scrolling through and trying to find one that you both want to watch.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's weird. It's the same experience, but it's the worst part of the experience versus the best part was just wandering the aisles of.
Yeah. Well, because it was easier.
The night was going to be really good when your mom said that you could rent like a video game. Or in my case, we were rather poor. So it was like she would rent me an N64 and I could rent like WWE SmackDown or whatever.
That's pretty good. We never got that.
Greatest nights of all time.
We didn't have a console that we could rent until we were teenagers. But
yeah, you used to be able to
rent those.
Yeah, you could rent games and stuff.
Yeah, Hollywood Video or
I think you can still rent games through Redbox, but I haven't been to Redbox.
I would rent games, but I didn't realize you could rent the consoles themselves.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there were places to use.
I think so. Yeah. I think it was a lot easier to find a movie, in a store because you had to get it and you walked out with it. You committed to it, and it's just so easy when you're popping through. It's like, do you want to watch this? I don't know. Add it to the list. We'll watch it later. Or you could start something and you don't really have to commit. It's like, I'm not in the mood for this. Let's switch it. But when you went to the store, you're like, ooh, this looks good. Let's get this. And you committed. You took that disc home. You couldn't change your mind,
Yeah, it was an event, right? It was like, oh, let's watch a movie tonight. Okay, let's go to the store and pick out a movie to watch and then come home and watch it. And then you get like ice cream and popcorn and like snacks. And it was a thing, right?
I also,
yes,
and then you had to fast forward it and rewind it before you could watch it because they were always so skippy.
Yeah, they used to sell videotape rewinders that did it faster than the VCR.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, those were fun to listen to because instead of just like, it was like,
yeah, it was insane.
Good old VHSs are great.
Yeah.
It also makes more sense in my head. I can understand that. Oh, the pictures are on the strip of tape, and then you see the picture, and the DVD. It's like it's just ones and zeros. Okay, and that makes a picture.
If you say so.
I guess it's not even ones and zeros. It's a reflection and not a reflection. It's been burned into a mirror.
Yep.
So. It's crazy. Technology's nuts. Let's talk about The Last of Us, episode 2.
Dose.
And the announcement that I had is tomorrow I will be going on the Underground YouTube channel to talk about The Last of Us episode 3. So tune into that. That'll be fun.
Cool. You're going to post a link on your
I'll post a link.
Site?
I'll post a link Monday morning.
Cool.
Underground.
I've been trying. Yeah, they're really cool. I've been trying to get them to come on to this show, but they both have real jobs, and so Sunday night is kind of bad. And they live on the East Coast, so it's starting at 5:30 Mountain Standard Time, which is 7:00 for them. But it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
They want to come on this show, but they just need to find a time where they don't work on Monday. So
yeah, that's super late for them.
Or we could commit to starting way early, just have them on.
We could do that.
Start early. But so that's tomorrow night, or depending on where you are, evening. I'll be talking Last of Us episode 3, which means I need to watch it soon.
Yeah,
but Last of Us episode 2.
When did it come out? I forget.
It comes out
Sunday.
It's out right now. It comes out Sundays. So we're
I think
we're
it
a
comes
week
out
behind.
15 minutes.
We're a week behind talking about The Last of Us episode 2.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay.
I'm gonna have to skip because I haven't seen it yet. Because my wife wants to watch it, so we're actually watching it tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can watch 2 episodes tonight.
There's
unless you haven't watched the first episode, then you can watch 3 episodes tonight.
There's a little bit of a nudity in it. Just heads up.
Which one?
In episode 2, random unnecessary.
It's a dead body that's naked.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
cadaver.
It's really
autopsy
it's
scene.
it's uncomfortable.
It's weird because there was no need for it. You could have covered them up with a sheet, which is what's typically done in an autopsy, right?
Is if you look at the description, right, every time you start an episode, it pops up with like the rating and what it's rated for, and this is like violence and depression and brief nudity, and then that scene in episode 2 lasts 10 minutes.
Yeah,
like that. It is not brief. like it's not sexual. It's a dead body, but like we get it. She's naked. Like
yeah.
That's good to know. I'll prep my wife.
I kept like, and it was just, and there was no dialogue. I kept like skipping forward. I'm like, it's still going. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, it was unnecessary. I don't know. I didn't appreciate it. It was uncomfortable. Didn't add anything.
Like the only parts that they look at, they inspect
her foot.
Is the mouth and the foot. Like you don't need anything else uncovered. It was just so
but
weird.
You gotta show them nips. You gotta show them nips.
On a dead body? That's not exciting. I don't know. Maybe for some people.
Some people. I mean, you don't know.
Oh
Jared looks like the kind of guy. He's laughing.
What?
It was also a middle-aged lady. So take that into consideration.
Jared makes his wife go to the walk-in freezer before they kiss.
Just so she's got a cold body. Alan. That's horrible.
That another reason.
Wow.
Wow. Anyways, aside from that unnecessary nudity in the beginning of the episode, the other issue that I had with this is a continuation of my complaint from the end of the first episode, because it seems to me that you find someone.
Go, we don't want to spoil.
I'm okay a little bit. Go on.
Okay.
Okay. Go on.
Right. This isn't a huge spoiler. You know about the premise of the game, right?
Oh, the game is actually one of my top time all favorite games of all time.
Okay, you played it, so it's not spoilers anyway.
Sorry, it's your top time favorite time of game of times.
Yep, exactly. Just exactly how it exactly sounds.
Top time game of all game of times.
Okay,
time of top of top.
So
top of the time of the top.
Top of the time.
You are familiar with the premise, so I don't have to worry about spoiling anything. So at the end of episode 1, they find out that the girl is infected. Right? And then I thought it was kind of unrealistic and silly that they just ran off and they didn't question her right then and there, right? It gets even more ridiculous at the beginning of this episode, because not only did they run off without questioning her, but they found a place to hold up for the night. They went to sleep. She slept, and they guarded her with a gun, and then they waited for her to wake up in the morning to actually ask her the first question about, hey, what the hell? You're infected. How come you're not a zombie? And that was so stupid. Like,
well, they kind of already got the answer, though. In the last episode, they were talking to they said this person is important for our future. Please deliver her. Like,
right.
I
feel
like
they did question her.
I feel like we get it. Yeah.
Right,
like
we get it.
She's like, she's bit, she's got it, and she's like, look, I was bit 3 weeks ago. And she's like, does this look like a fresh bite, fresh wound to you? Does it look like it?
Well, she points to the scanner too. Like the scanner can say how long the infection has been in the body, and she says, "Look, it's 3 weeks old." So, like, I don't complain about the urgency of that. Like it was more urgent for them to get out of the location they were in, because they just killed a guy and there were guards coming.
Which is
you wanted them to stop in the middle of a battlefield and have a father to son talk while one of the characters dies?
I wanted them to say, no, wait, hold on a minute. What the hell is going on? And then someone says, we don't have time for this. Let's go. Right?
Well, I think that's what happened at the last one, basically, is that she was screaming at the girl, and then
I think they did exactly what you're saying, David. I don't know why you're complaining.
Fine, whatever. But still, if that's
I have
the case,
other complaints about the show. You don't need to reach.
Okay. I just thought it was a little bit dumb.
Yeah.
Especially at this episode, Joel is still questioning her. He doesn't know what the hell is going on, and he's still mad at her, and he can't understand her importance, right? And I get by the end of the episode, he is fully committed to protecting her and getting her to wherever she needs to go, right? But I just found it silly that, okay, we know that there's obviously she's been infected and she's not contaminated, but they're still he's still worried about like if she's going to turn or not, doesn't trust her, and can't see her importance, like how she could be beneficial at all in any way.
Well, here's the thing. So, David, the thing about this that's so scary is that, like, and I think that this is why I enjoyed the first episode or the first part of the episode, right? Is because they literally they explained this thing about fungus, right? Where it's like, hey, like if it's a yeah, we can create vaccines if it's a virus, but we can't create vaccines if it's not a virus. So I think Joel
he even brings it up in this episode. They're saying like, yeah, I can't get my hopes up again that we found the solution.
Yeah.
He mentions in the past they've tried to make a vaccine and it's never worked.
I know that's a line that bothered me too.
He's like, how could this happen?
It's like I've heard promises of remedies or whatever before, cures before, and it never pans out. It's never going to be well. Obviously, you have new information, like right in front of you. You have evidence that and it's so stupid how antagonistic he is towards her.
Weren't you just complaining that he wasn't antagonistic enough?
I'm saying he needs to question her.
About a little consistency.
He doesn't trust her, which makes sense. I thought he should have questioned that before. But I was like, you can't have it both ways. So he trusts her enough to take her, and I don't know, whatever.
Well, so here's the other thing too that I think you see a little bit more with this episode is that I think Joel is doing it more to like because he cares about the girl, the woman that comes with him, right? And she's the one that's like, look, like this is obviously important, and I feel like this is something we've got to do. We've got to take her to this special place. And Joel's like, okay, like we'll do it for you. Like, yeah, maybe she is important or not. But at this point, Joel, and this is the thing within the game too, like Joel just kind of becomes insensible. Like it's not that he doesn't want to hope necessarily. It's that he literally is just like, look, he cuts off all feeling. So he doesn't want to get attached. He doesn't want to, seem
because he's had to
or anything.
Right?
What?
Because he's had to.
He's jaded.
Yeah, exactly. So at this point, he's just insensible because of what's happened in trying to cope with this situation. And so at this point, he's like, look, like I'll go along with at least delivering her to this one checkpoint, and then I'm done. Like I don't want to get involved. Like if she is the cure, like that's great, but I don't want to be the one to do whatever needs to be done to get her there. So he's like, look, I'll just get it to whoever is going to take care of that. And that's why during this episode you see that where the woman dies and Joel's like, oh crap, like I've got to take over. Like this is something that I've got to do.
And
I liked that. I liked where it ended up.
And I think just going back before I log off, then so you guys can continue talking about this. I think that's why it's important for that bad takes article that wasn't really a bad take. Maybe it wasn't. I can't remember.
Wait, are we talking about the Chinese, the ones about no black?
Right before that.
That is the most important take.
A mini series, but they have a storyline, right? There is a storyline here. And not only is it something that was very well written, it's very well thought out, down to the fungus. There is no cure. If you get a fungal infections medically are terrible to try to get rid of.
They bad.
And so, like, we don't have a vaccine for a fungus because it's not a virus. You have a whole different process. And it's a very well thought out script because it was already done, and they don't need to. And that's what I'm hoping they don't do too much in this this series is, granted, the game, you can't base the whole thing off of the game, but the game has enough storyline to definitely give you a full season or two of Joel and Ellie's journey, and all the emotions that come with that, with Joel going from a jaded individual to very much a father figure, to Ellie becoming the daughter, and both of them kind of the adopted daughter, and both of them accepting those roles and loving each other through their hard times. Like it, I'm so excited for what they've done so far. It's been a very faithful remake for the most part. We'll see what happens. I hope they do.
Or we could focus on the pegging.
That's not going to come until season 2. So please, I might not watch season 2 just because of that reason.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't want to be pegged. I don't want to be pegged. I don't want to.
Press F in the chat, boys.
With that, I'm out.
Pay them respects.
All right.
Bye, Corwin.
See ya.
Enjoy the next 2 episodes, I suppose. But yeah, other than that, I thought it was really well done. I liked when they were traveling through the city. She made a mention of there are different types of zombies. There's the ones that have their heads like filleted open and hear like bats, and then you encounter them later. That was cool. I thought that was well done. I'm trying to think of. I had another thing to say that I really liked. The sacrifice at the end, of course.
It was good.
That was cool. It was well done.
That was definitely the part where so like how it's communicable, right, to each other. That was interesting how, and that's kind of what I guess I wanted to ask you guys is, I mean, how do you think it's playing out with how it's being transferred to one another, to like each case? Because they explained
you're talking about the transfer of the
fungus. Yeah,
I have no idea how this spreads. It's not been consistent at all.
Yeah, that's the one thing, because I know I haven't played the video games, but I know in the video games and
there's spores.
Typical fungus transfers with spores. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're definitely not doing that. But I think it has to do with that thing that comes out of the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're just turning them into boring zombies. If you get bitten by their mouths, then you become a thing. But then you have to go back to episode 1 with the old lady who got infected by spores. I don't know.
It's true. Like,
I don't know. Like,
that's weird.
They should do the spores. They should do spores. It should be in the show. I can't think of a reason why you wouldn't do that other than, hey, we don't want to cover up the actors' faces with masks. I don't.
Well, because I watched the thing after the episode, and they're like, I think they said it was just illogical to have it do spores, and I'm like, well,
illogical.
Yeah, I'm like,
then how did it spread in the beginning of episode 1 to the grandma? How did she get infected?
Yeah, and I think looking back, that definitely had some problems with it.
I heard. I watched a video theory about how it started and how it spreads.
They said in the behind the scenes we didn't do it because it's illogical.
They said something about that. I don't remember what it actually said. So maybe you could pull it up real quick and see what it actually said. But there was the interview at the end, and he specifically talked about it, about why they chose to not go with the spores. Or I think they said that like it's like in a video game it worked really well, but in the real life I know what it was. They basically said that in real life it doesn't make as much sense because those spores get dissipated and like disappear really easily in like the air.
You can work that into the game, into the story.
So they basically were like, well, it doesn't really make a lot of sense as far as getting into the air and then being infected from that. And so
so what did they replace it with? Did they explain how it's spread? Because I still do not understand.
So I don't remember. I think they just said that they specifically replaced it, and then and then what they did is they talked about instead that's when they introduced this connectivity that happens, right? So like so like through the the vines, right, or through the roots, it basically can transfer. If something happens over in one part of the city, zombie
I like that.
over in the other side can sense it because something gets stepped on or something, right? So
I liked that, but again, it's that part of it makes sense, but it's not consistent either because they shoot the clickers and they're not connected. So are they different?
No, so they were talking about like the stuff that's
or...
like in the actual ground. It wasn't the zombies that are connected. There are root systems, and so when the zombie died, its finger touched the thing, and then it communicated with the horde that was like way far away.
Yeah.
But also, if that was the case, like they needed to be taking much bigger precautions, looking at the ground while they're traveling through the city, and. But then they get to the museum and his first thing is, hey, I'm going to shove my hand into this fungus. Turns out it's dry. I guess we were lucky.
Yeah, I thought that was
that's so stupid. Like they just need to explain how this works. And it's not very consistent. So like the biggest complaint is like they made changes to the spores because it's not realistic and they've created something even less believable.
Yeah, I think they both have sort of their issues. I mean, because I totally agree. Like, how did the old woman get infected before, right? And like all those other people, how did they all get infected, right? So it's like,
well, I was saying I watched a theory video on how this may have gotten started in the TV show, and someone
how much I hate speculation and trying to create headcanon to justify bad storytelling. Okay,
this is something I'm hoping.
Caution, okay.
I'm just saying this, putting this out there that they could be working towards this because there is something behind it. I just hope they do explain it in the show. Because so far they haven't been super consistent.
Well, I know.
Don't bring it up and then gloss over.
I was just saying, I'm with you there, bro. Headcanon doesn't work.
Okay,
if
so
they
what's
don't
the
do it in the show.
explanation that you want?
So the explanation is that it's originally the fungus was living inside grains, and so all the scenes you see. The old lady, she's eating some little biscuit pieces. The guy's shoving biscuits in her mouth or whatever.
That's true.
Back at the restaurant in the prequel flashback sequence or whatever, everyone in the restaurant is eating dumplings, but the lady is not eating dumplings or whatever.
Dumplings?
Yeah, so it's something that's like in the grain or the gluten or something. So everyone that's gluten free is probably good, I don't know. It's just a theory. It could be true. Also, they were baking those cookies, and she didn't take the cookies because those oatmeal raisin cookies, because she doesn't like them.
Okay, but then so they just stopped eating bread after
I don't know. It's just a theory.
Well, but after that, then it was transferred by the biting and the
right. That's just how it could have initially spread, as some fungus that got into the grain and populated that way, and then it mutated when it was ingested. It's just a theory, like I'm saying. I hope they have something in the show. I hope they have something in the show to explain it further, because
but then after the outbreak, what happens if you accidentally eat a piece of bread?
Yeah.
That's not
all bread.
Like the survivors, there would literally be 0 survivors if that's the case, because after when people go like, hey, let's go raid the grocery store to find some food so that we can actually live, someone's gonna eat a piece of bread,
right? And then they turn fungus until it comes out saying, hey, the bread is bad, don't eat it.
If that's the theory, it seems like that's something they would have mentioned, maybe.
Maybe it will.
I hope they will mention something. Like I said, that's just a theory. It doesn't have to be true. Yeah. It's just something that someone noticed, and I think there may or may not be some weight to it.
I noticed in the scene they was all eating breads.
But here's the thing.
But you're right. If that was the case, that it seems like that would be something that they would mention in episode 1.
Yeah.
So
but at this scene at the end, I think it was this where it said it, but I think he basically was like
sourdough starts
in.
out.
That was a good one. But basically, I think they said that in the next episode or two, they're going to completely shift the narrative a little bit, and so I think it's going to go a little bit further away from the actual game itself, a little bit, and so maybe that's where they're taking it. Is in the next couple episodes, they'll maybe explain that a little bit more and like.
Yeah, they did say that episode 3 changes a lot from the games.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping they flesh things out because I'm liking the little tidbits
which scares me a lot. I'm very apprehensive about watching episode 3.
Yeah. But I gotta say though, I do love, like, they stayed really well with the makeup design and all that stuff. Like,
the zombies look freaking. They look incredible.
Yeah,
definitely the best. The best part about the show, is the design. It looks real good. Also, another complaint is kind of a continuation from episode 1, where the in the opening scene when they get separated by the car that they could have easily just walked over, and we talked about how this is just like translation from the video game. Oh no, we got separated and I can't jump over fence, right? Like, it's a video game, so we
same thing when they're going through the hotel or whatever.
Well, like the fact that they say there are 2 paths, you got to make a choice now. This is a video game choice. You can take the short path or the long path, and then one of them turns like, oh, we can't take the long path, so we got to take the short path, and the only path is through this infested museum, and like. There's no other paths. Like, it was very much video game logic. Like, I get they go through the museum in the game because that's the only path that they made in the game, but in real life movie it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, especially since there wasn't anything special about that path. All it did was brought them to the roof, and like there was like a pile of rubble right next to the building that they show in the shot. They probably could have climbed up to get to roof.
Yeah. Also, this is a big city. It looks
incredible.
Right? There's lots of streets, so there should be a lot more than 2 ways to go.
But what makes less sense is they start off on a freeway.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know anything about freeways, but they are notorious for cutting directly through cities in the straightest path possible. You can't not tell me that wouldn't be the best way to get through the city.
I mean, unless the freeway was going this way and they needed to go this way.
There you go.
I don't know if you know this about freeways, David. They have these things called intersections, and they have freeways that literally take every possible path out of cities.
Yeah.
And what city is this? It's Boston?
Boston.
Yeah, maybe the freeway was collapsed. We don't know.
Collapsed.
Maybe it was.
But yeah, you're right. It's not very logical, and you can see the video game cracks.
But I was told that they made it more logical than the game. I was told they made us.
Hey, go on to yourself.
Spores that made it more logical.
You guys never watch those? They always have stuff like that at the end of shows like this. I always try to watch those.
I always try not to watch them.
What?
Well, because with like House of the Dragon, it just made things worse. And they're like, oh, well, we made this choice with the dragon, and we thought it was super cool. Like, no, it was so stupid. Why did the dragon kill half the city? So dumb. That still pisses me off because it was such a good show, and just that one moment was the only like bad part about it. Martina, I want to lead you down the path that rocks. It's a good one. Emperor's New Groove. Toss your bread, toss your rolls, throw up your Pop-Tarts because there's fun. Is this the hide your kids?
I think so, yeah.
Is that what the Martina, sometimes you just take it just a one step too far of like, I have no idea what the heck you're talking about. It's pretty good though. Like the zombies looked fantastic. Why was the outpost in the middle of the city? Wouldn't it be like an outpost outside of the city? Or maybe that's just where they were meeting them.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Like that's just where they were meeting him.
Everyone was dead.
And what's interesting too is they chose like they said in that interview too that they're like, because I think in the game what kills the people in that outpost are like the military.
It's the military, yeah.
But it was zombies in the show, so it's kind of like they definitely changed it a little bit. So it's like,
well, there were gun wounds or gun.
One of them turned. They said in the show that one of them started turning into a zombie, and then they all started fighting each other. And these people are so incompetent after 20 years of living in this apocalypse that all of them died.
Yeah.
It's just I'm having this. I might be extra bitter because I'm watching The Walking Dead also.
Oh, okay.
Because the zombies got me in the mood to like. Again, I had Netflix.
Watch more zombies.
Since I canceled Netflix a long time ago, but we brought it back for The Glass Onion, and I'm like, oh, okay, there's two. So it's bad. It's real bad. I just finished season 10. It was the worst.
Season 10 is with the Whisperers, right?
It was so bad. Honestly, season 9 was pretty good, even with that's when Andrew Lincoln leaves. He was in like the first 4 episodes or whatever. Season 9 was pretty good, and then season 10 is so long. It's 22 episodes long for some reason. Like this, the seasons have all been like 10 episodes or like 16, and this one was like 22, and it was nothing happened. It was so boring, and they ruined so many characters like with their arcs that just like made no sense. Like, why did you ruin this awesome character?
Yeah.
And
Carol is freaking annoying.
Carol is horrible.
The Whisperer's daughter is freaking insufferable. Horrible. I hate her character so much.
I hated it.
And she just gets worse the next season.
I hated it. You finished it? Season
11? We started season 11, I think. I think we're a couple episodes into season 11, and then we haven't watched it in a year.
Season 10 was like the worst thing to ever happen. And except for the very last episode is probably the best episode of The Walking Dead.
I don't remember how that ends.
It ends with a bunch of vignettes. Like there's like 6 episodes that just focus on one character, and they're all horrible. And then the last episode gives you Negan's backstory, and it's incredible. But maybe that's why I'm a little bit extra bitter, because I don't even. I'll finish it out of spite, but I don't want to at this point. And also, like, there's like one storyline that's interesting, and they keep not focusing on it. Like, you have to wait through like 6 episodes of the same thing that's just to get back to the part that's actually progressing the plot, and you're like, it's just bad. It's so bad.
It kind of sounds like the Way of Kings with Brandon Sanderson sometimes, where he starts to go on one story plot, and you're like, guys, no, I just want to get back to freaking the other story plots. Yeah, that's awesome.
Except that all of his plot lines are good.
That's
the difference here. So
yeah.
I've
been listening to that audiobook, by the way. The Tress of the Emerald Seas is pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't started yet. Yeah. It's next. I need to finish. Yeah, you weren't here. I'm almost done with the Great Hunt.
Ooh, good. Okay, yeah, I need to doing those again.
I love book 2 is my personal favorite out of all of the Wheel of Time. Like, I know it's not the best Wheel of Time book, but it's just like it connects with me personally, and I just love it so much. The finale is so tender, so juicy. It's like a nice, sexy steak.
Yeah, if you love it so much, why don't you marry it?
I did. I married. Let me pull up my marriage certificate to the Great Hunt. It's so good, and well, the twist at the end, or the last part of the book, gets so dark, and I was like, I did not think that this fantasy. I didn't think that's what this was going to be, and it's so good.
Cool. I'm excited for it.
Like it starts off as, oh, happy-go-lucky. We're teens we're doing a venture, and then it's like, oh dang, no, this is disturbing and really good.
That's the one where they all get captured at the end or something like that.
Well,
sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot you had.
That's the one where you find out what an IDOM is, and you're like, this is disturbing.
I freaking hate those.
It's so well done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna get into that series
good.
next. So I'm like you, Jared. I'm in the middle of not quite halfway through, but
I've heard. I mean,
listening to Tress of the Emerald Sea, and then I'm going to start Wheel of Time.
I mean, watch the nerdy science video where he talked about the liquefaction sand.
Oh yeah, I saw
sounds,
that.
Yeah,
sounds
so cool.
Friggin' cool. Talking about spores. Okay, if Brandon Sanderson can do spores, The Last of Us can do spores. Okay, it's okay to do some spores, baby.
Brandon Sanderson can do spores so well that he's got freaking seas of spores.
Yes, Brandon Sanderson does spore boats. He makes boats out of spores.
But the funny thing is about that video is he says, I may have stretched the truth a little bit.
Yeah. It's like, and then he proceeds to, in the video, just back up his choices with science, and you're like, oh, no, that could actually work really well.
Yeah. That was my first thought when I was reading that, when he first described the spores. I'm like, oh, it's like that Mark Rober video. And then that video was great.
It was good.
Last of Us is pretty good.
I've enjoyed it.
We'll see about episode 3. It's gonna make some changes, boys. I'm gonna go watch it, and I'll talk about it tomorrow on the Underground, and then I'll talk about it in a week on this show again. So it'll be nice. You'll see my immediate reaction versus my I've sat on this for a week. Has it changed?
Yeah.
So watch both. Don't tune into the Underground and then skip this episode because you'll miss out on the character growth. But also tune in to the Underground tomorrow because I'll be on it.
Very nice. Look forward to it.
I'm a YouTuber now, boys. I'm on someone else's channel. This feels fun.
You've made it.
I've made it, Mom. Their channel has more subscribers than my channel. That's a big step for mankind. One small step for me. I'm trying to think if there's any. I had another issue with the show. The whole like connecting thing was kind of cool. I know it's not in the games. It seems like a little overpowered. Huh?
How he was like kissing her, sort of thing. Oh no, the sensing in other places.
It seems like it's a little OP, and I don't, and I hope that they're consistent with it.
But then again,
they already have it.
Spores seems a little OP too, so they take out one big powerful.
Yeah, the kissing thing was weird.
That was weird, but to be honest, that's why I liked it. Is because it was so awkward.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I liked it. It's creepy and it's gross. And
the problem is, it felt like a Neil Druckmann kink to me. Right, knowing what's coming in game 2, like it just felt like, oh yeah, give me them. Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. Mushroom tentacle kiss. It's non-consensual too. That's why I like it. Neil Druckmann. I'm Neil Druckmann.
On the flip side of that, though, when Joel is saying goodbye to them, that was a really wonderful, tender moment because he's like, I want to kiss you right now, but I can't because of
he wasn't gonna kiss her.
Things or whatever.
No.
That look in her face is like, I'm really sad to leave you.
Okay.
I want to embrace you.
David, you're such a wuss.
I want to kiss you.
That's not. I was literally gonna. I was praising that scene because he didn't want to kiss her. Okay, like you can tell they're not in love with each other. Their relationship is a relationship of practicality, right?
It's like, hey, I need this.
Like they use each other and they're bang buddies. Okay,
they still feel
and
for
so
each
the
other.
moment when he says goodbye was just a practical decision. We can't stay and have a moment because I have to leave, and I loved it, and I loved that he didn't kiss her, and apparently that's all that you were thinking about. But she got some action anyway. Okay?
Thank goodness, we wouldn't want her to miss out on that.
Yeah, she went out with a bang because of the grit. Okay, that was the other part that bugged me. The whole lighter thing. Oh no, my lighter's not working. Too bad I don't have any grenades sitting around that I could grab.
I know.
Yeah, that seemed like the obvious thing. You've got a literal grenade, and you just
she literally
threw them on
tossed
the ground,
a bunch of grenades onto the
ground.
ground.
To do it with a lighter,
just use a grenade.
Also, the other thing too is you don't need to actually light the lighter. You could just
just to
spark the fluid.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
No, Martin, he didn't want to kiss her. He wasn't in love with her. He was just saying it was a practical decision.
No, go watch
sayonara.
the scene. Go watch the scene again. There's moisture in his eyes. His eyes say it all.
There was moisture in his lips. Why wouldn't he be able to kiss her? Even if she was infected, you could still, because spread by spores. She didn't have the little.
It's not spread by spores.
She wasn't infected yet.
Spread by.
He had 10 minutes. Look, I looked at the chart. I looked at the charts. And she was bit on the neck, which means he had 10 minutes to kiss her. If he wanted to kiss her, he could have. So you guys are just weird, kinky freaks. That's not how I read into that scene at all.
Okay. Maybe that's just because you're sad and.
I
fancy myself.
I have a wife, so. And I don't need to pretend she's dead to get excited.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Jared. It's canon now.
I like the scene. It was fun. It was well done.
Oh, here's one more thing though that I had. Okay, here's the thing. So,
David,
Mark, shut up.
Sorry. You stop, please. You are the weirdest person that you make no sense. Please don't tell me this isn't how you actually read The Wheel of Time.
I think it's just a running joke at this point.
You're a psychopath, Mark.
Oh man.
Okay.
Start with the slog and then from the beginning.
That's how you know if you're really committed. It is. Are you serious, Mark? Come on.
What?
Why would you start with book 5 in a series?
You're trolling. You're just trolling. There's no human alive. I can understand you skipping the middle book, okay? But starting with book 5 is just that's a silly. You are a silly man.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's one more thing that I had to say about The Last of Us. Sorry, Mark. I'm just pushing your comment aside. So here's the thing. So he's supposed to be a military guy, right? And literally, when they get attacked, he can't shoot the darn zombie worth beans.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, what? He's military and he can't shoot.
Also, he unloads a whole clip into the zombie's body before trying to shoot it in the head.
That was the other thing is well, and then later when he actually kills it, then he unloads another clip, and I'm like, okay, first off, if you're military and you're in a zombie apocalypse, you're not going to be wasting ammo like that to unload on something that's already dead.
And second off, and this is something that bugs me in all zombie things. Melee weapons are obviously superior in a zombie apocalypse. If these people had swords or baseball bats, you just whack the head once and you're good. It's the obvious choice.
Well, assuming you whack it hard enough to do some damage.
But they said, like, if the brain stops working, then the zombie stops. Like they literally go into the science of it. Like, hey, like shooting something in the body isn't going to do anything. It's the brain. As long as the brain's alive, they'll still moving, and so the host like keeps the brain alive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and then he
And then
unloads his
he
whole gun
immediately
into the
shoots her
body.
in the gut. Yeah.
Yeah, that was dumb. I did not like that part. I was like, oh man,
That's a good
seriously,
call, yeah.
like. So that was the only other part where I was like, oh well, that doesn't make a lot of sense, because I think they were just trying to drag out that moment and make it more suspenseful, right? And like, oh shoot, like they got away just in time, even though they shot it already, and it's futile. But I was like, okay, first off, he's military or ex-military. He should be able to make a better shot, and two, like he wouldn't be wasting ammo like that.
A machete.
One more little complaint.
The fact that he doesn't have a machete. So stupid.
Yeah, a machete would be.
But that's a common
ideal.
complaint with zombie thing. Like in season 10 of The Walking Dead, you still have people who die to a random zombie in the woods because they're so incompetent. Like, just it's dumb.
Yeah. So one other complaint here, and this could be because it's not fully explained, which I hope they will do later. And I don't know how it was in the video games, but with these clicker people, it is implied that they see like bats, right? With echolocation. That's why they're clicking, because that's what she said.
So it doesn't matter if you're making sound or not. The fact that they're making clicking means that they can see you.
Exactly. And while
that's how
really
echolocation works.
Yeah.
Even if you're quiet, they can see you.
Yeah, and so I really like how well that scene was filmed, where there was a clicker in the background and he's quietly unloading his gun or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he hears the clicking right there, and he pans and he's right there. That was cool. It was well shot. But if they're doing echolocation, they already know you're there.
Yes.
Yeah. So here's the thing with that is in the game, you had to specifically make sure that you weren't ever in front of them for that very reason, because then they could click, right? And then they could tell that you were there.
So it's directional.
So it was very important that it was, it's because it's directional, right? So
okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So it's not like, hey, they click and they can sense anything in the room. And that's also kind of why they tried to, I imagine that's why they tried to stay close to like the bookshelves and stuff like that, right?
That makes more sense.
It blocks those vibrations and those reverberations.
They look so cool though. Like
right?
Yeah.
Well, and the way they did it too in the show, it was good. They're like, and you're like, oh my gosh, like.
Yeah, it was really well done, and that makes a little more sense. I just hope they do more to explain exactly how they work.
I still hate Ellie. There was one moment. Really annoying. There was one moment in the show where it's like, okay, that was a good line, and then every other thing that comes out of her mouth is just like, I hate this character.
I think
it feels like every single female on the show has like a quota of F words that they need to reach per episode.
Yeah, I don't like it when kids swear, but I thought that this.
It's her attitude too, though. It's like she's.
Yeah.
I hate her.
But I thought she got better towards the end of the episode. Both her and Joel kind of warm up to each other a little bit and open up and start talking instead of being vile towards one another. So I don't know. I hope that'll get better as the season progresses.
Yeah, I think we'll have to wait and see.
Well, I'm gonna watch what? Machete was busy training Rancors.
Yeah, that's a Boba Fett reference.
Yes, and a Machete reference as well.
Yes.
I think it's also referencing a Machete, David. Though that's the movie with the machete in it.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen that movie. Yeah, have you seen that? It's got a machete. Mm-mm. It's got a guy who has
seen the trailers for it. Yeah.
Yeah, so he has a machete and he machetes with it. He goes machete.
Sounds very, very exciting.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know. It's made by Roberto Rodrigo. That's a guy.
Okay.
It was made as a joke. What was it for Grindhouse? The double feature? It There's a trailer for.
I don't know.
There was a bunch of fake movie trailers that they put in the Grindhouse double feature, which was Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino, that did Death Proof, Death Proof, and the other one. That's just some trivia for you.
Yep.
I haven't seen it. I know a lot of things about things I haven't seen. I know a lot about the pirate movies, and I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them.
Sure.
No, I don't
believe you.
I don't. I'm a good Christian boy. Okay.
All right. I don't have anything else to say about Last of Us.
Pornography
Yeah, I
is
think it's good. I've enjoyed it.
unhealthy. Don't do it. Get a wife. Or
Indeed.
Or a corpse. I don't know.
Gross.
Oh, Alan.
Or a zombie who can give you mushroom kisses.
Oh, man.
You guys have anything else to say?
Nope, I'm good.
No, I think that was basically what I noticed is those little things. But I'm gonna have to go watch this next episode, and
I'm very apprehensive. Like I'm kind of scared to watch this next episode because it's been good. I have complaints. It's got a lot of warning signs, and they've warned us about episode 3.
Well,
so,
it's already been confirmed for season 2, so
yeah, which is also scary. Just
I hope it stays good.
Stay good. Cross your fingers. Stop it. Poor Jared.
there's no back tank, so I'm okay with that.
No back to tank. That's true. It's definitely yeah. It's definitely better than a lot of the crap out there. So always read out of order. No, Mark. You make so little sense to me. But it's okay. We love you anyway. Look, it makes sense for like comic books, okay? Because that's all we had access to was the library. So we read a bunch of comic books out of order, but
You had to take what you got.
But a 15 book series, and you're starting with book 5. That's
all the other ones were checked out. That's probably what it was.
Like, yeah, he said because he only had
so you reserve the other ones.
Yeah,
and wait for them to come back in,
or go buy it.
Yeah.
Like,
all right.
That's scary to me. You're scaring me. I would.
We need an emoji with books on the shelf labeled 312 or something.
312. It's a lot to put into an emoji.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right.
So next time we're watching more Vox Machina and
more of Vox Machina and more of The Last of Us.
I've been enjoying Vox Machina too.
It's super fun. Yeah, no, I loved these last 3 episodes. We talked about it already. It was dope.
There's definitely I mean, they've killed 2 of the characters already.
That was one of my complaints. Yeah.
Shoot.
Were there death fake outs in season 1 too?
I think there were, because I remember we talked about how we were kind of impressed that they were willing to almost kill people.
Yeah, it was only one character in one episode. I think in the hometown of Percy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It was Percy's sister.
In the home,
they almost killed her,
Percy.
and then she didn't die. But I don't think any of the main cast.
Well, they've killed a lot of NPCs. That's for sure.
Yeah, they killed a lot of NPCs. Oh, that was another question. Do you know if these new characters that joined him, the human paladin and the tiefling lady, are they NPCs or are they playable characters that joined the gang at one point?
There were some like guest stars on the show. I don't know the answer to that question.
That'd be interesting to find out.
One of them was played by Beatrice from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. The actress's name is Beatrice. What's the
yeah. The
grumpy one.
That was
grumpy
the, the really The small one. Yeah.
The grumpy cop from Brooklyn Nine-Nine is Beatrice something. Is her actress. I can't remember her character's name.
Shoot. Oh man.
Rose.
What is
her name?
Nunez or something like that.
Nunez.
Her name's Rose.
Is it Rose?
Yeah, it's Rose.
Yeah. So those two characters, one of them is her, and the other one is that chick from Game of Thrones. Stephanie Beatrice is the actress. It's Detective
Rosa
Diaz, right?
Yeah, she's a good actress.
Also, I saw on the thumbnail that they have another show or something like that. What was that?
Yeah. So they made a deal with Amazon. The details are unclear, but it looks like they're getting a movie, and they're also adapting their second campaign, The Mighty Nine.
Okay, so it's still Vox Machina, but
no. So it's Critical Role. Their first campaign, their group was called Vox Machina. Their second group was called The Mighty Nine. There was like an episode where they fought each other, the two groups.
Oh, really?
So they both exist within the
crossover event.
Okay, well that's cool.
And they're currently on the third campaign. It's called something, I don't know, but it's pretty good. Super happy for them. It's a huge accomplishment. I'm jealous. So good on you, boys. You made a thing.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. That's all I had.
I think let's call it there. So we'll see you guys next week. Remember to tune in tomorrow. Hey, we had a short episode today, guys.
Yeah, two and a half hours.
Tis impressive. Tis impressive of the most because we've been going for like 3.5 recently.
Yeah, it's been getting insane.
It's not my fault. You won't shut up. So. Actually, if we're being honest, it's other Jared. He talks a lot.
He hasn't been for the past 3 weeks. So
I know. And our last 2 episodes were some of the longest ones we've had. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Night, Mark.
Okay. Good night. We'll see you guys. Night. See you guys around. I still need to make like a better outro for the show. But oh man, I'm losing. I can't find my buttons. There it is. Okay. See you guys. See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Wait. Oh shoot. No. There it is.